If
Okay,
you're talking from last year to this year, I know what you're talking about.
we should be live, but there is no one here.
Type
Are we
shit.
live?
Yes, we should be, but we are also recording because I have to upload this to YouTube.
Oh, of course.
So we'll do our opening bit, and I'll just edit the.
Welcome, Monday-shirts.
It's only been 30 seconds, so and like I said, 0 viewers.
Yeah, we got.
So we're good. But if people hop in,
Welcome to Bodacious True Crime.
this is not bodacious. Although this is the best bodacious true crime group that we could have. Don't tell Lily that though. Yeah. Well, he knows that I was very upset after. And the thing is, we don't 100% know who banged on the table during the OJ episode.
Oh, it was always.
I'm
didn't
pretty
know.
sure it was him.
A mystery for another day.
So, 3, 2, 1. Hey Gus, I saw you got a haircut, and I forgot to ask in the comments what kind of cut you should get, because my hair's grown back. I was thinking about getting a new haircut.
You know what's hilarious, Riley?
Yeah.
You know, what's actually hilarious.
What is it? Is it a low taper fade?
No fade. It's just the tape.
Okay.
Yeah, 20s.
Also, that joke made the only person who was here immediately leave. I was looking over at my screen. Anyway,
We love to see it. Love to see it.
ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the first ever live episode of All Riled Up. I'm still working out the TikTok studio stuff. You have to download a separate application. Did not know that. So it might look weird on mobile as well. The landscape viewing might be
You know what? Let me check.
the best. Yeah, I was gonna say you can look at it. Because to squeeze our Discord stuff in like how we normally do it on YouTube, I had to put it weird so you could look at it.
You know what? It'll probably look better if I turn my camera sideways, actually.
I was
So that
gonna
way-
ask you if you thought it looked okay from the way you saw
It
it.
looked okay. It's just that I'm vertical and everything else is landscape on it.
Okay. So there's a couple people here. Hello, everyone.
Hi, guys.
Usually we do a podcast on YouTube. We're just going to be talking about, we have some news to discuss. We have our personal end of the year awards. And then we will be talking about our predictions for, it used to be called Super Wild Card Weekend. And apparently this is the first year they dropped the Super. Also, my hair is messy. That's what happens when you have cancer. Did you guys know that after you finish chemo, sometimes your hair can be curlier than it used to be?
Hey, you're telling me, bro.
Yeah.
I
And so my hair looks a little messed up in the back. I got to get myself a low taper fade as well.
I'm telling you,
And
bro.
also I'm rocking the MVP's jersey.
Actually,
Oh yeah.
2 times back to back.
Beat me to it, brother.
Hey, right here. Yeah. Did you
But,
see that game against the Dolphins?
Dude, that was his. It's funny. He was like, I'm retiring. I'll play good once.
Right, bro. As soon as it stopped mattering, him and Devontae Adams went like crazy.
Devontae,
It's so
Prime 07 Brady highlight reel.
Aaron Rodgers when
You know,
the game
I
means
think
nothing.
it's so funny. Like they only played good to rob the Dolphins of a playoff chance.
I'm
Aaron
so happy.
Rodgers.
The only thing I respect from the Jets, I'm not gonna lie.
So
Aaron Rodgers in his final game, keeping up Tom Brady's legacy of not allowing the Dolphins in playoffs.
which good. What I was gonna say was, also anyone who is watching this live, if there are issues with the audio, let me know, in chat, because I'm reading chat. What I was gonna say was, we'll talk news, we'll talk predictions, we'll talk our end of the season's awards, but first, joining me as always is my boy Eunice. How are you, Eunice?
Ravens flock, baby.
Yep, fuck you. And my boy Gus, how are you? Gus, the #1 New York Jets fan.
Hey, no, No.
Oh, yeah?
It's ironic, and you know it. You bought it.
I know, and I even made a TikTok where
Yeah.
I said I bought it ironically for.
And it just so happens I
profit.
look green. What can I say?
Also, I made that TikTok where I was talking about the AFC East news, and I was like, shout out my boy Gus, who makes
Yeah,
good
I saw
Patriots
that one.
videos. Yeah. And Dijon. How are you, Dijon?
Oh, I'm all right.
He's camera shy guy.
I was going to say, how's the meatball
Yeah.
sub?
It's good. Shit. That's about
It's
it.
spicy.
Be careful, though. It's spicy.
I can't wait to beat his ass on Saturday again.
So,
It's gonna be the best.
before we get... I'm pulling it up on my phone because I have it written down. Before we talk about the news, though, I want to talk about the season-long prediction tallies between everyone.
Yes, dude. Fun.
If you have never seen the podcast before, we do a thing where we count, we predict every single week, and then we count and tally it all up so that we have like a ranking between the four of us. I am going to keep the playoff predictions separate, just because the regular season is kind of more difficult to predict, so it would infringe upon the rankings to, with the playoffs. So, in fourth place, in an honestly not so distant fourth place, it really got close at the end,
Don't sugarcoat it.
is Eunice. 171 correct, 101 incorrect. So
You suck.
yeah.
I sold.
You kind of threw towards the end. I'm not gonna lie.
Towards the end.
No, at
Brother,
the beginning he was
I-
throwing, and he had to
Oh,
make
yeah.
For
But I mean,
no reason.
he stuck
I would
with.
have had 15 extra points just off the Chiefs.
That is true.
Betting against them.
That is
Yeah.
Tell me that I had bet against the Bengals for shits and giggles too. Give me like 18 more points and tell me what my score would have been, Riley.
No, don't
You
do
would've
that.
been-
Let's
No.
just-
You would have not.
No, I know it definitely doesn't count. 100% does not count. I'm just saying, had I not been,
Don't even give him the satisfaction.
I was gonna say if Eunice had 18 more points, he would have been one under me.
Damn, sucks to be you.
So, 'cause I was like, "What's that echo coming from?" In third place,
Ooh. Now, this one I have no idea, dude.
but what I should say is a tie for second and third is Gus and Dijon. I lied.
No.
Kidding me, dude.
I had to lie because, and I had my camera on, so I was like, no. Like when I said that.
y'all have been tied for like 5
So
weeks now.
so last week Dijon got two more
Yeah.
wrong than Gus did. So Gus was up by 2. Gus
Dang.
was not on the podcast, and we were talking about like, oh, we think certain teams are not playing their starters. Turns out the only team I was wrong about was the Texans not playing their starters. And not only they did play their starters for the first drive, and CJ Stroud threw a touchdown, and then they took him out. And the best part is the backup still won. Davis Mills balled out. 176. The Titans. Will let us
well, there
play
you go.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
His
Your
last-
versus-
His last act as the starter was to get them the number 1 overall pick.
all part of the plan.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's all part of the plan.
Honestly, he's a genius.
So
Yeah.
It was-
he helped them get their next QB.
He held the fort down.
he did.
They better sign a QB, man. I get he's young, but he's shown like at least Anthony Richardson shows that he
Flashes.
actually does have some talent. Like he shows like glimpses of it. I can't think of a single play that was from Will Levis that came on my timeline that wasn't making fun of him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, sure.
Yeah. So Dijon and Gus were both tied with 176 correct, 96 incorrect. And then in a distant first place, it's me. 190 and 82. So to spoil my end of the year awards,
Riley, Mr. Favorite Warrior over here.
Eunice Eunice won least valuable predictor, and I won
You know awards
most,
like that.
All right.
most valuable predictor. Thank you.
At least
So-
I can do decent in playoffs.
Oh yeah, no, like these. I was gonna make a full bracket, but I don't really like doing that because then you have to go back and change it.
You want to know something crazy?
What?
I completely stuttered there. And for some reason, it just worked. I meant to say, at least I can do good in fantasy. And it
That's
just
true.
so happened to be coincidentally a word that does fit in there.
It's funny.
And I could have let myself slide.
It's funny because Gus and I were like arguing. He made a TikTok about fantasy football. And
Yeah, I saw that.
Also,
Yeah.
And
He commented on it. I deleted it.
He deleted my comment. I was the first one.
Yeah,
I gave
that
him
was
his
funny.
first like on that video, and he deleted my comment.
Also, the
I don't
bit,
want to hear it. That's like the first like you've ever given my page,
I
mister.
always like your videos.
No, you don't. I see you in views, not in likes. I can see it. I can
Every
see what
time
you like.
your video comes on my timeline, like instant. I don't even
Eunice?
hear what you say. Like instantly. Ask Gus.
Eunice, I can see every single video that you have liked and every single video that you have only viewed.
If it's on my timeline, I click like.
Okay. If you say
That's right.
what I saw was different, that's all I'm saying.
Ask Riley. I do the same for him.
he
Okay.
comments and he likes on all my posts. I don't know. We'll see.
Not me.
Maybe you delete my shit.
Your
It's like,
likes.
I'm taking my likes back.
They were never there. You liked like 3 videos.
So, in terms of news, last week, Mike Evans reached they got him to 1,000 yards in that last game. It's funny because they had to like throw the ball to. It was basically over, and they were trying to like drain the clock. But typically, you would run in that scenario so that you don't get picked off. But they had to throw the ball to Mike Evans because he needed only like a few five to get to 1,000. He got 1,004. I just looked.
May I add on that exact comment? If I'm the Saints and I already know I'm losing, I'm putting like 5 DBs on him specifically just so he doesn't get the record. Fuck it. You can have the other side of the field open. We know we're not winning this game. We're behind. There's like 10 seconds in the game left. You're not getting the record.
And Mike Evans, I'm not sure his exact age, but he's like older. And
I think he's 31.
okay, that would make sense because the other part of this stat was that he is the only player in NFL history with 11 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons.
Oh my god.
The only
Bro's
player
for sure a Hall of
close
Famer.
to him is Jerry Rice has 6.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Mike Evans was part of the Super Bowl era, right? For them?
When Tom Brady won, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's for sure a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Oh, he is very good, even before that.
100%.
And it seems like he mostly stuck with the Bucks because of like I think he said he wanted to retire a Buck.
Yeah, so he's doing kind of like a Kelvin Johnson thing. Become a legendary player for that team, retire as a legendary player for that team.
Yeah,
I can
so-
respect that.
Me too. I like Mike Evans. I mean, it's kind of hard not to. He seems like a chill dude.
He does, man.
Except when you got to play him in fantasy. Although he was injured for a while, so then he was fine.
And I know how that injury happened also well.
Oh, yeah, in the Ravens game.
Of the Buccaneers. I made fun of the Buccaneers head coach for like weeks after that because of how stupid that coach was to put both of his star receivers in a game when they were behind by 30 points in the fourth quarter and they both got hurt.
Yeah, and the other wide receiver, I forgot what his name is.
Godwin?
Oh yeah, Godwin.
Chris Godwin.
Yeah. In other news, Tyreek Hill.
Oh yeah.
When we were talking about the Dolphins Jets game, the Jets, it's like I saw the funniest thing on Twitter the other day where it was like,
I'll be back in 5.
okay, I saw the funniest thing on Twitter where it was like the Jets have won 0 playoff games in the last 10 years, but they've made 2 wide receivers crash out in the middle of games on the other team too. Because I don't know if you've seen the very famous clip of Antonio Brown retiring mid-game against the Jets.
Yeah.
Where he like takes off his jersey and like jogs off the field with no shirt on. So this is like really stupid. I don't know how much you know about this, Gus and Dijon, like the Tyreek Hill drama. Basically, what did you say?
I'm pretty up to date on it. Yeah.
Okay.
He wants out the.
Yeah, basically, like Mike McDaniel had said, like, at a certain point, he just, like, walked off the field and went into the locker room and nobody could find him. And so they were like, oh, they didn't say, Mike McDaniel even said, like, in a press conference, nobody said really what it was for. He didn't know if it was an injury or not. He just left.
Yeah.
Then in the post game, I believe Tyreek Hill was interviewed by 2 different reporters, and I think the first one he was more nice, and then the second one he was like, I don't want to play on the Dolphins anymore.
Yeah, he said he wants out.
He specifically said it was because they were not contenders. Which, what?
I mean, you were on the Chiefs, dude.
And
he left the Chiefs for money.
He left the Chiefs because they didn't pay him enough.
If he wanted a winning record, stay with the winning team. Stay with the playoff contenders. You went to the Dolphins because you were chasing your bag. At the very least, own up to it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You can't like ditch the Dolphins because Tua got injured.
Tyreek Hill had a bad season this year, but it was mostly due to
and you don't see players reacting like this. I mean, it's bad behavior, I think, from somebody of his stature.
Oh yeah.
And like position in the NFL, like, dude, they're paying you top dollars to be there. You chose to go there. If you wanted to win, you could have stayed with the Chiefs for a few million, yet less. You know,
and
you get this for your family. You move for the money. Own up to it.
I don't even know what Tyreek Hill's contract was like on the Chiefs. If they drafted him, rookies still get a lot of money, millions. The wide receiver market when he left would have been less. So, okay, sure, maybe the Dolphins were like, we'll make you the highest paid wide receiver. I don't even know how much that is, like 20-something mil a couple of years ago. Because now I think, didn't JJ sign for 30?
I have no idea.
Somebody recently signed, I could look it up, highest paid wide receiver. Somebody recently signed for Justin Jefferson, 35 mil a year for 4 years. Tyreek Hill contract with Dolphins.
Tyreek Hill gets 30 mil.
It's
30.
30.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. You're right. And then 106 in guaranteed money. 106 mil in guaranteed money. So it's like, if he wanted to play for a contender, stay on the Chiefs, you might not make, sure, you're not making maybe you would have made 25 instead of 30. Like, they have I don't know the Chiefs cap situation, but they're not gonna not, like, the Chiefs, what is the one thing over the past 2 years that they have had issues with? Wide receivers. If Tyreek Hill still has 2 years on his contract, he could have said, like, give me some kind of bonus, give me some, like, if he wanted more money. So,
and it's not like he wouldn't have gotten that money through like other endorsements and things with the Chiefs.
Incentives.
He probably would have been commercials making hella.
Yeah, and now he's on the Dolphins, and he's still good. This year he had a bad year because Tua was injured. For, I think, 6 games in total he missed. Oh, no, that was just from the concussion, not even counting the last 2 that he missed. So Tua missed, I think, 8 games.
He missed enough to take him out of playoff contention. Straight up.
And
like half the season, bro.
Stephen A. Smith said that, like, there was a 38% droppage in his stats.
Yeah.
You know, it's just from the fact that Tua, like, they don't. Who did they have as their? They had Tyler Huntley.
Tyler Huntley.
But before Tyler Huntley, was it Skylar Thompson? I think.
I think he played one game before
It
Tyler
rings
Huntley.
a bell.
What did you say, Gus?
It rings a bell. I'm not.
Yeah, because Skylar
100.
Thompson took over for Tua when he got hurt the first time, like 2 years ago, in the playoffs. So it's not like, I don't know. It's just like, it's dumb from Tyreek Hill because, well, first of all, I think it's hilarious. First of all, just because.
Yeah.
It's funny because it's happened to the Dolphins, and the Dolphins were.
And then if they lose Tyreek Hill, they're not a playoff team.
Nope. I mean,
It would be so funny if just for no reason, like T. Higgins is like, yeah, I'll go to the Dolphins.
I'll go to the
So
Dolphins.
it's just like nothing ever changes.
No. You guys are missing the big picture, okay? Higgins,
to
Hill, Travis Hunter, all to the Patriots.
I knew he was going to say that.
You know
Most
why you don't
insane
want that?
Patriots offseason take.
You know why
All
you
divas.
don't want that?
They're all divas.
Well, not just because they're divas. If Drake May doesn't get them a Super Bowl that
Oh,
year,
they all be pissed.
well, not just them. The whole world's gonna be shitting on Drake May. What more did you need? What more could you have needed?
I mean, to be fair, I'm 100% certain he would win him the Super Bowl with those players on his team.
Oh my
I don't know.
god.
It kind of
If he had all three of them, I think so.
all 7 picks in the draft. They just focus on left tackle, left guard, center.
If Drake May
Right.
had,
tackle.
if Drake May had one of those dudes on his team,
Playoffs.
oh, 100%. And so it's like, I think
Because
it.
they already have a good tight end.
Yeah,
We have two good
Hunter
tight
Henry.
ends.
A lot.
By the way, I'm pretty sure Hunter Henry played for the Dolphins. So, anyways, point of what I was trying to say is, from a like,
Hooper's our other tight end. He's pretty good too.
really, that's good.
Yeah.
From a like perspective of a NFL fan, this is ridiculous from Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
I think he will be traded, although the Dolphins said he never officially asked for a trade. I think he will be traded. To where, I don't know. It has to be some kind of contender who can pay. Because if the Dolphins have bad blood, they're going to, with Tyreek Hill, they're going to ask for minimum that they split the contract, what is left of the contract.
15 mil. So let's say 15 mil and a second and third
a
round
couple,
pick.
yeah, a couple picks.
Chargers would do that. Chargers would do that.
They would.
Commanders do.
I agree. It literally, it just comes down to who has the most money, and who can give. Because the Dolphins could also just not trade him, but he will be. Tyreek Hill's a diva where I don't think he would play.
He will make it very obvious to the media and in the locker room.
Hear me out on this. What team right now is about to lose one of their star wide receivers and could love another one? 49ers.
That too. And
Samuel's about that doors.
but we'll see what happens with the Brock Purdy contract.
That too, yeah.
I am banning myself from making
Isn't San
speculations.
Francisco going broke, by the way?
Yes, they are pretty.
I don't think they could even afford Hill if they wanted to.
They have they can afford the Purdy contract and one other good player, and a lot of their good players are free agents this offseason.
Actually, they can afford a lot. They got almost 60 mil in cap space.
Oh, so
They got a lot of mouths to feed, bro, if they're got to re-sign these guys.
Because
And if they cut Debo Samuel post the June 1st, which I believe is going to happen,
Which they
get
should.
an additional $6 million on top of that. So honestly, they extended most of who needed extensions already.
yeah.
So I mean, they really
We'll see, yeah. I mean,
So
they've been the most well-constructed teams for years now. We'll see what they do.
also, I'm just very bad with. Damn, that sucks. I'm just very bad with cap in general. So it's not like.
Yeah, I'm very new to a lot of these things We were talking about it,
For all the
like
viewers
drafts
out
and
there-
like cap space. My first season, even looking into it.
For all the viewers out there, we use the website Over the Cap, which
yeah.
also has a calculator system that they just recently added, where you can adjust contracts to see your name for re-signing purposes, how it affects the cap space.
That's cool. I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like Over the Cap, but yeah, like so. The Tyreek Hill from a Bills fan's perspective, it is fucking hilarious because it's like last year, Jets fans, Dolphins fans were like, we're taking the division. It's a fight between the Jets and the Dolphins. The Bills don't even matter in this conversation. Most media pundits were like, now granted, there were some who were like, they're coming in first. You guys don't understand. But there were a lot that were like, Bills are third at best. I even saw someone who said fourth over the Patriots. I'm not even joking.
I genuinely cannot comprehend how people built a narrative around the Bills that this was somehow a rebuild year.
I know. I can't believe it either.
One player.
Yeah, it's Stephon
They
Diggs.
lost
Stephon
one
Diggs,
player.
We lost.
All that commotion was really over Stephon Diggs.
We lost a lot of because everybody was like, "Who's he going to throw the ball to?" But we lost a lot of good players on defense too, and that's why our defense is garbage.
Right.
Stephon Diggs didn't do.
And that's proven to hold true, but like, let's be honest, the real reason was Stephon Diggs is leaving. Josh Allen is gonna
Yeah,
he's
who's
gonna
he
be
gonna throw-
exposed. What he really is, they're never gonna score a touchdown.
Yeah,
I want to say there were a bunch of Ravens fans shitting on Josh Allen about that. Where it's like, let's see how Josh Allen likes it without a star wide receiver one. Like it mattered in the slightest.
Yeah, Khalil,
MVP candidate.
Khalil Shakir is our wide receiver one. So in turn, let me look at my list of all the coaches that got fired as well. So obviously, let's start with the best one, Gus.
Gerard Mayo.
And
Yeah.
I just want to say before you start talking, I saw the video you reposted about Robert Kraft apologizing because he said he felt like he put Mayo in an untenable situation. I agree with him.
100%.
Mayo was a linebacker coach. He played for the Patriots, but he was a linebacker coach, and he didn't have any kind of even coordinator experience, you know?
Yeah.
So he wasn't going to be good his first season. Now, could he have been better? You know, yes. Could he potentially have gotten better if he stuck around for a second or a third year? Yeah. Or could he have been just as bad? Probably. Just from some of it, he looked like he was just way in over his head.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask you what your thought about that was, because I just wanted to talk about the Kraft thing before you said what you thought.
It's 100% Kraft's fault. Gerard Mayo has been with the Patriots for a long time. You know, he played for us. He, like you said, what's it called? The linebacker coach. And Kraft only hired him because he was scared another team would take him as a DC or as a promotion, right? So instead of putting him as, I don't know, maybe a DC or maybe a small step up from where he is now, he thought, well, the only position we got left is head coach. Let's keep him on as head coach. Hope he does well, just because we don't want to lose him potentially. Only reason why they put him up there. Kraft just liked him. The only reason why. So yeah, it's 100% his fault. Because we could have had a good coach from now. And in this position, like, you should have had the foresight to know that we can't train a head coach, like a rookie head coach and a rookie quarterback at the same time. There's nothing to build up. You know, they can't build off each other, both rookies.
Yeah.
It's too much to work with. The Patriots were like, if you put him in on a team that was already doing well, that had moving parts, maybe. You give him a chance, give him a couple of years, right? But I mean, there's just no time to develop him. It's either you develop him or the team, straight up. You need somebody with experience to push him in the right direction, and it was just a bad move. I don't blame Mayo. I think they kept him on for too long. I'm upset that we have to let him go. I wish we could have kept him as a DC in the first place. You know, because honestly, our coordinators, we need a clean slate in the first, anyways. And I think as soon as we get our head coach position filled out, I think they're going to let them clean out the OC and DC and pick him themselves.
So I was just looking that up
Mhm.
because a lot of people want Alex Van Pelt to be fired too, which I agree.
Yeah, yeah.
And I had seen that allegedly he is basically all but gone. He has been like it's he has they're saying it has not been announced yet, but he has been informed he is not going to be returning next year.
Yeah, I think they're going to give the position to whoever the head, like they're going to give it to the head coach. You know, they're going to let them pick.
Yeah, and whether that be Ben Johnson or Mike Vrabel,
Mm-hmm.
or whoever
Whatever.
they end
I don't
up
think they can
picking.
lose because we have a lot of good options on head coach.
Oh yeah,
Honestly, I don't think there's losing, but I think we should go with an outside hire. I'm sick of picking within, and I like it to a degree, but it's always been defensive minds. I think
Yeah.
something new with Johnson to build around Drake May and the offense instead would be a really nice change of pace, and I think it's something that May and the Patriots would need for the future. So, but either way, we'll see, and I won't be upset with who they pick.
So that's what I was gonna say too. Is like I like the Vrabel pick, but I said in my video I think Drake May needs an offensive-minded head coach
100%.
because they all either that or a offensive coordinator who can really get involved. Like Josh Allen, Sean McDermott is a defensive-minded head coach, but he has had three, or actually I take it back, two good offensive coordinators throughout his career that have trained Brian Dable.
Yeah.
And our current offensive coordinator, Joe Brady. I fucking hate Ken Dorsey. That's why I was like, not three.
I do want to add, like, when you were talking about, like, a coach that, while, yes, they may have an offensive or defensive mindset, they still know how to understand the other side of the ball.
Right.
That, to me, is, like, what I love about, like, John Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Because it goes to no surprise, he is definitely an offense-heavy-minded coach, right?
Literally any vet coach will be good at that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
My problem, my biggest problem is that the Patriots are retaining our GM, which we've had for 4 years since 2020, I think. That's what I'm worried about because he should have been gone. He should have been gone this year. We should have booted him. I don't know why we're retaining him. That's what keeps me more scared for the draft because who do you think's been picking him for the last 4 years? We've been picking bad picks.
Here's my joke here. He may not be a GM, but now you know 1% of Cowboys fans' pain.
Oh yeah, and did you guys hear that? So I think the current Cowboys GM is Mike McCarthy. He got the
Is he a coach?
Sorry, the current Cowboys coach is Mike McCarthy.
The Bears thing, yeah.
Yeah, so he needs to be fired. He's not very good. He got the Packers, their most recent Super Bowl win, with Rodgers a long time ago, and they ended up firing him because Rodgers and him did not like each other. Towards the end of his tenure,
Rodgers
Packers.
didn't like his current coach either. He tried to get him booted.
He did try to get him booted. So they were like, Mike McCarthy is like, it's like a sinking ship, but it's slowly sinking. So you're just sitting there watching and being like,
it's like from a distance, you're like, oh, maybe it's not.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh no, never mind. Like they,
Once you start looking closer at the details,
and you're like, oh no, an hour ago you could still see the sails.
Yeah. And it's like, obviously, like this year they did bad because of Dak, the lack thereof of Dak. But
Not like they were doing the best with him.
But
they weren't winning with him on the field either.
They were not winning because Jerry Jones was like, I'm all in, and then did nothing. So
they got no running back under the age of 30.
Ezekiel Elliott, and then they waived him.
They added nothing to their weapon rooms in terms of receiving core or tight end. They added nothing to their O-line that had any value. Not one player they drafted not one player they went out and got via draft or free agency has yet to have a single snap this season.
Dude, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Jerry Jones really thought they could win a Super Bowl, let alone get in the playoffs with just Lamb and Dak.
And you know what the craziest part is? You know what the craziest part is? This is the second season, and he still had the audacity when the season ended to say, I like our guys. I like what we currently got. We'll be there next year.
Yeah. And it's like...
He doesn't realize, like, everybody's pointing the finger
I
at him.
genuinely believe he knows. I genuinely believe he... You know...
He doesn't care. He's an evil old man, dude.
You know that guy on TikTok who does, like, those meme NFL things? It was like, all right, quarterbacks, here are your NFL ratings and shit like that.
Oh, yeah.
And then they reply every time. It's like, we know what you do. You get bad publicity as a way to get your money and stuff. I genuinely believe that's Jerry's mindset.
Honestly,
because he knows because his sales are going higher every year. Cowboys merch is still selling. It has yet to reach a peak. He treats his players like zoo animals, and I'm not even exaggerating. He does tours of the facility while they're working out, and players have gone out to the media. Like Dak Prescott to say it's distracting and it makes it harder to work out, and he still does it. He treats them like actual animals.
Yeah,
he's in a. About it.
Yeah. And like
he's hands-on in the way that's like maximizing profits, not like
because he's the GM, he's the owner, and I believe his son is the president of football operations. Which I couldn't really tell you what they actually do, to be honest with you, but
It's so crazy to me that the week that this was all within 7 days, because I saw memes of it. The week Derrick Henry got signed to the Ravens, Saquon Barkley got signed to the Eagles, the Cowboys extended their long snapper. And that was all you heard from the Cowboys for a month and a half.
Yeah.
And they really didn't make any impactful news. So I think it starts with Mike McCarthy, but I feel like this is a sign. It's not, I would say it doesn't 100% mean that Mike McCarthy is coming back, but it makes me lean towards that he is. Or at the very least, Jerry Jones is undecided.
Honestly, I think we would see a better Mike McCarthy out of the grasp of Jerry Jones.
Oh, 100%.
I think whatever team I think if he goes to a different team, he will be a better head coach.
Yeah, I mean, did you hear the Bears contacted the Cowboys?
Yeah, I saw that.
And they denied the Bears.
It.
Not Mike didn't deny it. The Cowboys organization denied it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what it is, man. Like, they know there's problems. They're being told there's problems. The facts are in front of them. And
it's Jerry. There is no they. It's just Jerry.
Yeah.
It has to be intentional. Because it's not just the owner. It's not just the coach. Even the players, like, they all got the nastiest attitudes for nothing.
I mean, CeeDee Lamb is, like, he's upset. He's not happy.
I can understand being upset to an extent, but like when you refuse to take snaps, refuse to go to practice, when you get mad at your QB who just threw the touchdown, but it was to a different guy than you, that's what's like, all right, bro, what are you doing?
And Micah Parsons said, he's like, I want Mike McCarthy to come back next year. Why? He's just trying to be nice. He's like, no, you do not want him back. He's not very good. So in terms of other head coaching fires, we had Doug Peterson getting fired. Also, the funniest thing happened. I don't know if you guys saw. So the Jaguars GM is very bad as well, but he did not get fired. But in a press conference, the owner said someone legitimately asked him in front of the GM. The GM and the owner are next to each other. Or it's a Zoom call, and they're literally, he is also in the Zoom call with the owner.
Yeah.
And someone asked the owner, would you consider? First of all, I can't believe that someone actually asked this, and I can't believe the owner actually fucking answered honestly. Because he did. He said, if a new head coach came in and wanted the GM out because he wanted to rebuild the culture of the team, would you be open to getting rid of the GM? The GM has to stop himself from, like, reacting because the owner legitimately says yes.
Wow.
He said if they showed me a legit plan, I would get rid of the GM
That's crazy, dude.
in front
so
of the
funny.
GM.
That's crazy, dude.
That happens so
Keep it
much
to yourself,
in the
bro.
NFL where the answers to things are actually said, and yet there's still no like up and comings. Like I think I told Gus about this the other day, where like the defensive coordinator for the Vikings, he was flat out asked, "Hey,
Oh yeah,
would you
Brian
go to the
Flores.
Patriots to coach?" And he goes,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I'm just waiting for the call." Mm-hmm. And I texted Gus immediately. I'm like, "What are y'all saying?"
Which by the way, guys, you do not want Brian Flores as your head coach. And that's not even me joking. He is a really toxic locker room person. This is not a joke.
Gets
I don't know much
results.
about him.
He gets, but he had Bill Belichick. You want the?
Brian,
Belichick, what? He was not toxic in the locker room.
He was nice to Tom Brady and Tom Brady.
he was not nice to Tom Brady.
What?
Yeah, he was not nice to Tom Brady.
He liked Ed Reed a lot for some reason.
Like
he
Julian
loved Ed
Edelman,
Reed.
apparently.
Look at. He loved Edelman. Should have been gone, dude.
It's so funny.
You can't say he's a toxic coach, bro. Come on, man.
So Brian
Hear Edelman
Flores.
talk about Belichick's locker room. Oh my god, bro! Like in his podcast, I'm telling.
It's so funny.
You'll change your mind today.
Brian Flores was the head coach of the Dolphins for a few years. And Tua came out and said that Brian Flores would text him in the middle of the night and say, like, "You're a disappointment. I'm not even."
What?
Yeah. And like he's like, "You're," and he's right, but he's
It's
like,
us too much, huh?
he would tell him like, "Dude," he's like, "You will never be able to play football at a high level." Like stuff like that where it's like
And then Tua went to have the most yards in a season. It works.
and
It's tough
it
love.
was after Brian Flores left, but Brian
The words
Flores
were there.
also. Do you guys know who Matthew Fitzpatrick is? He's on.
Yeah.
I love him, by the way, because he's on like the Thursday Night Football. He has a podcast, and he also said like, you don't want Brian Flores as your head coach. Like he is a nasty person.
That is terrible.
And so it's like he's a good DC. So I will admit that. Other than that, Mike McDaniel. Speaking of Mike McDaniel, he is staying with the team.
Yeah.
Dolphins. He got the
That's what a lot of
Lions,
people heard about that.
that was if you're a Dolphins fan, you should be upset because they've been mediocre because of him. He's 3-14 against teams that have a winning record or better.
While we're on this topic, there's a lot of rumors right now of Todd Monken being offered positions for the Jags and Bears. And personally, he's garbage. Like, I don't know why any team would want him. I generally think they need to let him stay with the Ravens for like 5 to 8 more years to like figure it out.
5 to 8 more years is crazy.
That's like
He's the perfect staff, though. Before you go into a head coaching thing, I think he should stay as the Ravens' offensive coordinator for at least 5, 8 more years, something like that, maybe a little bit more.
Did you see Josh Allen was asked at a press conference earlier today? He's like, "What do you think about Joe Brady getting so many head coaching offers?" And Josh Allen was like, "Yeah, he's not very good. I don't know why teams would be interviewing him." And it's like, and you can tell he's like trying to hold in a laugh, but he says it like kind of seriously. He's like, "It's whatever."
Bro, did you hear Golf talking about Ben Johnson?
What did he say?
I can't remember what show he was on, but somebody called in and they were asking Jared Goff, "What do you think of Ben Johnson taking interviews?" And the way he answered, he was like, "Oh, he's taking interviews." The way he was talking makes it seem like Ben Johnson is not going anywhere. I'm not gonna lie.
I hope so.
Takes the gun.
For the Lions, a lot of people are saying like if they give him the money, maybe, but it's tempting. Like you don't really know what he's thinking because he chose to stay another year.
Yeah.
He could get a head coaching position as well.
In my
So we'll
opinion,
see what he wants to do.
if we make Super Bowl and win, he's gone.
What was that?
If we make Super Bowl and win, he's gone.
Yeah.
But that's the problem. They're doing interviews now.
Yeah. I think it's so stupid. The NFL needs
should
to
they should not be allowed to
where
do that.
interviews cannot start until the off season.
Yeah, they should not be allowed to
Was
do
that
that.
like, Todd Monklin? Like, jokes aside, someone asked him today after practices, like the interviews and whatever. It's like, so we hear that you're getting things. Like, oh, I haven't been replying to any of those until the season's done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I imagine that it's
because there's more football to play.
Yeah, I imagine that it's not a super big
he's
deal.
on the plane. Ben Johnson's on the plane. He's going to the Patriots.
He's for bye week.
This Friday to speak to them.
I imagine that it doesn't actually affect the mindset of any OCs or head coaches or anything like that. But if I were an OC, I would want to focus on just what I'm in right now, instead of the potential job offerings. One last thing. Actually, two things. The Lions, for the first time in franchise history, got the 1 seed. Awesome. Love it.
Great to hear it. Insane to hear it.
It's all. I watched that game. I was scared.
Oh my god, that game was so good.
And it was really good because just at the end they just ran away with that game.
Yeah, I was completely wrong.
We all were.
For the people who haven't watched podcasts, we were like, all right, this is going to be shootout. Defense on both sides is going to do terribly. And
Darnold, he was having PTSD.
He was seeing ghosts.
Darnold, I could see, it was fairly
back-to-back touchdowns to Jefferson, overthrown. Insane.
Yep.
Dude, Jefferson that was crazy. Jefferson was pissed.
Yeah, he was. I mean,
do you know that guy? That guy that was covering Jefferson all night, apparently.
High school.
Yep, they played against each other in high school.
So that's why the number one DB wasn't on Jefferson. Rather, they put the guy that's known Jefferson for his life.
And dude, he was doing a great job for most of the game.
Because he knew the ins and outs of that guy's mind. Because he's been going against this guy for the better half of at least, 8 years now?
I can tell you right now, the shit talking was like, after I beat your ass, I'm going to tell your mama.
I'm telling you, since high school, he's been whispering in his ear, hey, bro, I'm going to tell you right now, years from now, we're going to be in the NFL, and I'm going to still be locking your ass up.
Dude, it's fun. Dude, I was like, I've never heard of this dude before, but he's doing such a good job. I think he only had, he had 8 targets and 2 catches.
And dude, I think one was a big catch, a 30-yarder.
Yeah.
He only had 44 total yards, which is a lot, but JJ is usually a multiple touchdown guy.
Yeah, JJ typically doesn't leave the field under triple digits in yardage.
All right, let's get to the end of the year awards.
All right. Who wants to go first?
We're gonna do it. I was gonna say let's do it in. I know John didn't do it, which is okay. We can do it in the order that we do podcast predictions. So Eunice, say your award.
So I'm gonna start with the basic awards, the ones that everyone knows, MVPs and stuff. So personally, by the way, I'm not gonna really go in depth into any of these except for the close ones.
Yeah, you don't have to unless you want to.
Yeah, some of these are obvious as shit, like Rookie of the Year, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
MVP, personally, obviously, Lamar Jackson. That's just where I'm shooting for right now. Just because the records he broke this season, insane. Broke Michael Vick's record for most yards. Had the greatest touchdown to interception ratio in NFL history for a full season. I mean, that is just insane too, on top of breaking a running back's record. Just insane. 4th highest passer rating for a season in NFL history. Also insane. That's just why I'm going it that way. Next up, Rookie of the Year, Jaden Daniels. Anyone surprised by that? Not really. Comeback Player of the Year, Sam Darnold. Once again, no surprises. Offensive Player of the Year, Barkley. It was a tie for a bit between Barkley and Jamar Chase. I just gave it to Barkley because that's who I think is most likely to win it because he went to playoffs. Defensive Player of the Year, Xavier McKinney. It was hard between him and Kirby. The only reason I gave it to Xavier is because in terms of causing turnovers, they were tied. Xavier had 1 less interception, but Xavier also had 1 fumble that he created and recovered. So turnovers were tied. I just gave it to Xavier just because he had 10 more tackles. In terms of stats, that's the one thing that pushed him over. Kicker of the Year, I gave it to Will Lutz for the Denver Broncos because he had a 94% accuracy for kicking almost 40 field goals and didn't miss any extra points, of course, this year. Um, what's it called? Defensive Rookie of the Year, Jared Verse. Pretty obvious. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Malik Neighbors. It's not even close. I have one written down, and I do not remember what this is. It's Cothy. So I don't remember what this one
Coach
is.
of the year.
Coach of the Year. Fuck, I'm an idiot. Kevin O'Connell.
I was tied between him and my actual pick, but I went with my actual pick because I like him a little bit more.
Clearly, I feel like when it comes to like that, there's probably not going to be a wrong answer.
Yeah.
Now for my special awards, gold surrounded by trash. I gave this to Brock Bowers. The only reason I didn't give it to Drake May was because Drake May at the very least has a good tight end. Brock Bowers has nothing. There's not a good receiver, running back, O-lineman,
Yeah, it's
QB, defense. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
Most explosive player, Jamar Chase. If I tell you, oh, did you guys see that 70-yard touchdown yesterday? The first player in your head is probably Jamar Chase. Biggest fall off, I gave that to Sauce Gardner because he went from defensive player of the year back to one of the shittiest seasons I've ever seen for a defensive back. He had 2 tackles this year, and that is his stat total for the year.
Yeah, he did not do good.
Why
DeMar
are
Hamlin
you
has
still-
more interceptions than him.
Why are you still here? Aaron Rodgers, pretty self-explanatory.
Okay.
Yeah.
No disrespect, Gus.
Oh, all of it taken. All of it taken.
This one should be obvious. Will be a dark horse next year if the team is smart during the offseason. The Patriots.
Yeah.
Best offense,
500.
Giants. Best defense, Chiefs. I have to give it to them on that.
Yeah.
Worst offense, Titans. Worst defense, Bengals.
Oh yeah.
And last but not least, the player I am most excited to see next year, genuinely, this was hard for me because it was between Justin Herbert and my winner, Bo Nix.
I
That's fair.
yeah, I completely understand that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fair list.
Gus, what are yours?
All right. First and foremost, our fantasy king, Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
Have to.
100%.
You have to. Rookie of the year, Jaden Daniels. Offensive rookie of the year, Brock Bowers. I mean, I was debating giving him rookie of the year. I'm not going to lie. Just because he had such an outstanding career. I think he beat Neighbors in the most receptions in a year for a rookie.
Neighbors just squeaked
Yeah.
out.
Oh, he ended up beating him, did he?
Because remember during the Giants-Colts game, for some reason, the Giants wanted to play like the
Yeah, they played like superstars.
Patriots.
Yeah.
And Malik Neighbors in that one game, I think, had like 20 receptions.
Yeah.
And honestly, he missed 2 games as well off a concussion. I might have to swap it over to Neighbors because I thought Bowers had that.
Both are fair answers, let's be honest.
Yeah. Let's see. Most promising rookies, and that's not just for this year. That's like for like the upcoming years, who I think is going to have a lot of not only regular season success but playoff success as well. Now, this is not really an award; it's kind of more of a shout out, but I did want to point them out because there's just so many good rookies this year. Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Brock Bowers, Malik Neighbors, Bo Nix, JJ McCarthy. Even I'll throw him in there.
I really thought
I could totally see all of them having regular season and postseason success, 100%.
Yeah. Can I say, I really felt this was the first time in many years this felt like the year of the rookies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So many.
Now, quick question. Harrison Jr. was also a rookie, right, on the Cardinals?
Yep.
Marvin Harrison
Yeah.
Jr., yep.
And now I have for rookie busts, this is more of an honorable mention kind of thing because I don't think there were any outright busts on offense, at least. But J.J. McCarthy and Marvin Harrison Jr., only because one got injured and one had a rough start.
Yeah.
Now, let's move on to the best dynamic duo of the year. Now, unironically, I almost put them up as an ironic answer, but Sonic and Knuckles, the best dynamic duo of the year, absolutely crushing
good.
it in the running back department.
Yeah.
100%.
I think the only duo you could argue is maybe Burrow and Chase.
Yeah, I thought about them for a while, but
Can't
I
think
mean,
of anything else that can like come close to that. Because as much as I love like Jackson and Henry, I mean,
like when you're both independently having out like stellar seasons, you have nicknames, you got to give it to them. Now, counterpart is the worst dynamic duo of the year. I'll give you a hint. I'm wearing one of them. It's A-Rod and Devontae Adams.
A-Rod and Devontae.
Worst dynamic duo of the year. They played good for the last 3 weeks after they got eliminated from playoff contention. Got to give them a shout out. They definitely deserve that one. And I mean, they ruined the Jets organization. Straight up, you got to give.
Fair, I feel like it was ruined when they got there.
It's been.
I mean, they did nothing.
Aaron Rodgers made
flop
it much worse.
He somehow set fire to Ash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the best coaching staff in the NFL, in my opinion, has to be the Detroit Lions.
Yep, I was gonna say
The
that
way
too.
they play football is outstanding. It is different. It is new. It is refreshing. Their OC and DC are taking interviews to be head coaches. If that doesn't say enough on its own, I mean, what else can I tell you? The trick plays that they come up with on offense. The fact that they kept the Vikings to 0 touchdowns on defense.
That was awesome.
Incredible. You got a best coaching staff by far. I was debating the Chiefs just because they've been so good for so long, but I think this year all the lights on them. Now, for the worst coaching staff, I don't think there's a clear-cut winner for the worst coaching staff.
There's a couple ties, I would say.
There's a big one for me, honestly.
I don't know, man, because when I say coaching staff, I mean all the way up to GM and ownership as well. Now, the Jets, the Giants,
The Jets,
the Bears, the Cowboys.
Yep.
I mean,
Jags.
the Jags, the Raiders now.
the Browns.
I mean, the Browns. I could keep going. Honorable mention, the Patriots.
Honestly.
I'll put the Dolphins as an honorable mention as well.
Yeah.
I had them at part of the worst coaching, but I don't think they're quite as bad as the rest. At least not yet.
Yeah.
Now my MVP. Written down, I have Lamar Jackson, but I have seen a few convincing videos to sway me back to Josh Allen as my MVP pick.
Uh-huh.
And I think the biggest reason is, if you look purely at statistics, it's Lamar Jackson. Open book, open, close, that's it, right? But I think if you take a step back, you look at who they're surrounded with. Josh Allen, surrounded, they didn't even think they were making playoffs this year. Lamar Jackson is surrounded by a great team. You know what I mean? With Derrick Henry opening up that backfield, Zay Flowers has really been incredible. And honestly, I don't think Zay Flowers would be looking that good with any other quarterback. To Lamar's credit, I think he makes Flowers look much better than he plays. And that's not even a diss to Flowers. I think that's a credit to Lamar. But despite that, I think Josh Allen has just had a ridiculous season with less talent. You know, he secured them the 2 seed in the AFC. It's an accomplishment. It's a feat, to be sure. Losing only to the Chiefs. Josh Allen beat both 1 seeds, the Chiefs and the Lions. The Ravens didn't do that. You know, the Ravens didn't play the Lions, to be fair, but, you know. So for that, I have to give it to Josh Allen. Offensive Player of the Year, Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
You know, that one was clear-cut. Best regular season performance outright. Team award, I have to give it to the Lions all around.
Yeah.
Their defense has suffered a lot, but I mean, 33.3 points averaging this season on offense is ridiculous. They have shown that the only way to beat him is to outscore him, and the only way to outscore him is to drop 40 points. You know? It's ridiculous. Best team in the league. I think they deserve that reward, and that wraps up my picks.
Those were good picks.
Yeah. Real quick, I'm a big dummy dumb. I forgot to read off one of my picks.
Go for it.
I guess I just scrolled by accident. It was my From Rags to Riches award.
Okay.
And this player, before I say his name, I just want to say the reason I picked him is because he's been a wide receiver with an elite QB for 5 years now, and he's never had a 400-yard season despite being a wide receiver 1 and 2 for all 5 of those years. I'm giving this to Rashad Bateman because his best year ever was 390 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Wow.
This season, he almost has 800 yards and 9 touchdowns.
Wow.
So
Big turnaround.
So I guess you can call this also like the most improved player. I guess you could also just call it. But that's where I'm going with mine. I think that's a fair one.
I agree.
Either him or Jameson Williams. That's really how it is, really, in my head.
So, my picks. I'm going to do my custom awards first. We're going to work our way all the way up to the final one, which is MVP.
I wonder.
My kicker of the year, got to be Jake Bates. My man, I love him. If I could buy a new Lions jersey before him, I watched him in the UFL last year, and I called it. I was like, he's going to be a Lion. And my worst head coach of the year, it's got to be Matt Eberflus. Now, granted, he did get fired
Yes, he did.
on Thanksgiving or the day after. So there's a couple coaches where I'm like, ooh, the guy, Jeff Ulbrich, the head coach for the Jets, is also very bad. But Matt Eberflus has a lot of memes about him, and the Bears are just a funny team.
They're easy to make fun of. Straight up.
Oh yeah. So my list is so I made a special award called the Will Levis Award. It is supposed to be for the worst quarterback of the year.
I wonder who it's going to.
And it's not going to Will Levis. I was like it's not him.
Yeah.
But I have to mention Will Levis in this podcast somehow.
Yeah.
It is, of course, Aaron Rodgers. He was absolutely horrible this year. He actually did not have bad stats. He had very middle of the road stats, but his completion percentage was garbage. He was extremely off target in the Bills game. He threw 2 picks. He cannot, A-Rod was one of the first QBs to really dance in the pocket.
Yeah.
And extend plays. A-Rod cannot extend plays anymore. I am glad though, because I still like him as a player. I think this was a great finish to his career. He sucked. People are only going to remember him for sucking in the last. Well, he's still a first ballot Hall of Famer.
100%.
And people are going to remember him for.
And I am going to miss him in the league when he retires. I really will, man.
Me
He's been
too.
around so long as I've been watching,
Yeah, me too. And I am going to miss him, and I am going to, he was great, but it's very obvious that was his last game.
Yeah.
I honestly think it would be okay for him to stay on as an advisor and maybe give tips to a QB or maybe be a QB coach.
Yeah, but not with the Jets organization, bro.
Yeah, as a player, Rodgers is done. This is it. And I'm glad that he got to have one good game, and I'm glad that it was against the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah. Oh, you're not done. Please continue.
Yeah, if you wanna say something, you can go.
I just want to say the biggest problem with Rodgers for me in terms of just his legacy, there's a popular saying where it goes, people will remember the last chapter of a book more than the rest of the book. And unfortunately, unless you're over the age of 25, let's be honest for a second, unless you're over the age of 25, 10 years from now, you're going to look back at Aaron Rodgers like that guy sucked ass.
My first...
As the MVP, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
He has, I think he has the most or the second most MVPs. Or Peyton Manning has 5, he has 4. And it's he was great. I think he's still a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's still gonna get all his flowers when he officially retires.
He's still got ring and everything.
He for sure was one of the greatest QBs to do it. I'm just talking about public perception of him. Definitely.
Oh yeah, no, it's completely ruined. It's completely ruined.
Because if he had retired after his back-to-back MVP season, which what was it, 2020, where he got the second one?
Yes.
It was right before he came to the Jets, I think.
So 21.
I think it was
20 and 2021 was the second time.
If he had retired in 21 after that second MVP, because Aaron Rodgers during his prime, people always argued Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady. Oh, Tom Brady has more rings. Oh, we'll give Aaron Rodgers Tom Brady's defense. See what happens. if he had retired then, that would have been a legacy argument. People would have continued to have argued that. But because he didn't, because he kept playing and then had a huge drop, people will never make that comparison ever again.
Yeah, and it's
And it's the way he left Green Bay as well.
oh yeah, because he
I mean,
wanted
he gave them trouble for so many years, even like especially during his MVP years.
he won.
He troubled them so hard, and then he damn near sabotaged Jordan Love's career.
Yeah,
And every single time too, a back-to-back MVP, but they cracked on in the playoffs both times.
Yeah, like that's genuinely like how I like. All right, get ready for the dick sucking, I guess. I love Lamar Jackson, but 10 years from now, if there's no fucking ring under the tree, like what am I supposed to say?
yeah.
Yeah.
You are dick sucking by bringing him up, though.
I know. That's why I gave you guys the warning.
Yeah.
Y'all are in the splash zone.
I was gonna say like his public image is ruined. Like
Yeah.
I like to think that because he's still a top 5 QB of all time. He had those back-to-back MVP seasons. And then he had one season with the Packers where they did very mid. They were 8-9. His stats were okay, but they were definitely a step down. And then he went to the Jets, tore his Achilles, whatever. I mix them up all the time. And then this season, he was bad. And a lot of people called it. A lot of people bought into the hope. Like that one thing that I think Dijon sent where it was like a Packers-Jets Super Bowl with the Jets winning is fucking hilarious. And it's like, it's
The fall from grace is really just unbelievable.
like I said, I'm glad that he had that last game where it's like, and I watched his like post game sideline interview he did with that one like woman reporter. And
yeah, that was really sweet.
it genuinely felt like Aaron Rodgers was like in a movie, and he realized the entire time he was making mistakes, like he was the villain, and so it felt like he was apologizing for not only sucking but all of the shit he put Jets fans through. Like,
Yeah.
And it felt, honestly, yeah, you're right. It was a sweet moment, and it made me kind of like him a little bit more because I still like him. I just thought the whole situation was hilarious.
Yeah.
Especially as someone in the division where it's like when they played the Bills the second time, they played Gangster's Paradise on a boombox as they were walking out, and they got blown out.
Yeah.
So it's
But like, you know, there's still love and passion and respect for the game behind Rock. You know?
You can tell he's passionate about the game.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just he doesn't know how to express it the right way.
He's just a diva. He's a diva.
Off the wrong way. Because, and this is the weirdest part. Like, I've been watching football since 2012, right? I got to watch a majority of Aaron Rodgers, you know? Like I got to see all of this, the rise and fall and all that. So it was just so trippy to me, like these last 2 or 3 years, to hear such an iconic name and not have the word great in that same sentence.
Yeah. And the craziest part is you go around and you ask any Green Bay fan, none of them miss Rodgers.
yeah.
They enjoyed like the glory he's brought them, but they're more than happy to move along from him, which is ridiculous. Because usually you miss your franchise quarterback. Oh, why can't we go back to the Aaron Rodgers glory days? No,
You know what I think?
they're not saying that.
You know what I think
Which,
part of it
you know,
is,
which is unheard of almost.
I was gonna say, I think part of the reason they don't miss Rodgers is because they just went from one franchise QB.
But yeah, from Favre to Rodgers to Love. It's
Like
insane.
if they had a fall off, like the Patriots did, like when Tom Brady left and they got Mac Jones instead, they would have
But
been
even
saying,
during Mac Jones, he brought him to the playoffs, and people were still missing Brady.
You know what I think also just like amplified it for Rodgers? When Tom Brady began to fall off when he was in the Buccaneers era,
The 8-9
it was
season.
it was a slow descent, you know?
It was, yeah.
It was like, oh, he had 4 touchdowns less this season. Oh, now he had 5 more
Dude,
touchdowns
it's
less.
insane. He was always at the top of his game throughout his
Like,
entire
he had
career.
40 touchdowns. Now he's at like 32. But like Rodgers, he went from like 48 touchdowns, 12.
Which, I mean, to be fair, the difference between Brady and Rodgers as well Brady went to Brady took his team with him almost.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where he went, he had much more to work with. And I'm not saying that's when it's stacked, but Brady still had more to work with, and he wasn't coming off an ACL injury at 40.
Yeah.
You know, because look at Rodgers, look at the way he moves in the pocket. He's incapable of moving the way he used to because of that.
Yeah. He
Yeah, like
tries.
He tries, but he just can't do it anymore.
Because when Brady went to Tampa, he had Gronk with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mike Evans.
He had Mike Evans.
He had
Godwin too.
Mm-hmm.
He was still in his like early prime, where he didn't have any pain in his body, no bruises, no nothing, just a feral beast that wants the ball.
By the way, the Bucks OC was so bad. They had all the weapons you just listed, and they couldn't even have a winning record in Brady's last year. You couldn't come up with scoring plays.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I remember hearing this for the first time and being in shock. When the first time someone came up to me and told me, "Oh yeah, I can't believe Tom Brady didn't make playoffs," I'm like, "Huh?
Yeah.
What do you mean? He was the shoo-in.
Yeah.
He was the guy that greeted you at the door every year at playoffs because he was always there."
Yeah.
Yeah.
He only missed, out of his 22 years in the league, he only missed it twice.
And he's never been mathematically eliminated from playoffs.
Yeah.
I think the only two times he missed the playoffs was once with the
ACL
Bucks,
tear, and then
when he tore his ACL.
Yeah.
Those were the only two ways he missed playoffs. His leg got ripped in half. He was fucking 44 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was it. Father Time had to step in.
Back to my awards.
Yeah, sorry.
My most miserable fan base, the Jets.
Yeah.
And there are more miserable fan bases, but the Jets have been miserable
dude, they are
for the longest.
Yeah.
You know, they have the longest active.
And this was their highest expectation in years, too.
Yes, they have the longest active playoff appearance drought in pro sports. Second to the Buffalo Sabres, which is the Buffalo hockey team, and they suck. And they continue
Just
to
had to throw a
suck.
shout out there real quick.
I'm not a Buffalo Sabres fan, so it's okay.
Yeah, Red Wings, we won yesterday.
I'm not a Red Wings fan either. I'm a Toronto Maple Leafs fan.
At least pick Red. I'm a Red Wings fan.
No, I have to pick Toronto Maple Leafs because that's the team
Yeah,
Tim
he
Horton
said this.
played for.
Hey, wait! They might be an American team pretty soon. Though.
Wait, what did you say?
You gotta have it.
They might be an American team pretty soon.
That's
I thought it
true.
was the similarities of, the Maple Leafs and the Bills.
I did not know that until after I started liking them, and then I was like, "Fuck, it's gonna follow me everywhere."
You gotta be a fan of at least one Detroit team.
I am.
That's the rule.
Tigers.
The Pistons? Tigers, that's right.
Tigers.
I switched from the Marlins because I started learning about the Tigers, and I was like, I like the Tigers more.
I played the Red Wings one time as a kid, and it has stuck with me since.
I went to a Red Wings game. It was fun. I still like the Red Wings. I still like the Lions. I'm just not, it's like, it's not my team. It's not my team.
Red Wings won in overtime, baby. Please continue.
They're on 4 straight wins.
Ooh.
So, my least valuable player, I am shocked no one mentioned him. It's Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, dude, I forgot about it. I'm not gonna lie.
I know he did not play a lot. I was feeling that this was going to be a controversial pick. I have a controversial pick coming up pretty soon, actually, because I was like, I don't like him. B,
Yeah.
the Browns GM confirmed that he suffered a setback in his recovery, so he is going to miss part of next season as well. If not all, if they decide to keep him, we don't know. Allegedly, there's a rumor that he has restructured his contract so that it would make it easier for them to get rid of him. But it has not been confirmed. I thought it was confirmed, and I said that last episode.
It's the year of Sanders in Cleveland.
Yeah, just put whoever. And then, Deshaun Watson. We'll see what happens next year, but he was my least valuable player because he sucked, got hurt, did not play for the rest of the season, and the Browns.
And he got forgotten so quick.
Yeah,
just got eclipsed by Jameson with this joy and jolly.
I have not heard people talk about him in a long time. Good.
What a
You know,
yin
I
and
think
yang.
I know the exact moment
Honest to
everybody
God.
collectively forgot about Deshaun Watson.
The Jameis Winston snow game.
No game. Yup.
Yeah.
Yup.
Dude, what a yin and yang. To go from this dark figure to Jameson Winston.
Oh, Jameis Winston's also a bad person.
It's crazy. It's
Like,
crazy. It is, but
Jameis Winston has, I think, either 2 or 3 rape allegations as well,
which is insane.
which is crazy because you would never think it.
Yeah, nobody talks about it. Everybody
know.
just like we just
I know. And
so
then,
happy to play football. You're like you wouldn't even think he had that in him.
I
I think it's
know.
just because I think the reason they don't talk about it is just because, bro, look at what we just had to deal with. Just fuck it, let it go. It's only 2 this time.
and I think he's like a born again Christian. I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, that's why he's so.
But he still did that.
I'm ordering me a wing of Amazon.
I also saw
Yeah,
Deshaun
maybe
Watson.
I shouldn't be cheering for him.
Deshaun
So-
Watson proposed to his girlfriend. I'm pretty sure. Which I didn't know he had a girlfriend like
Right?
Eunice. So these are my like awards that are normal. I wasn't as creative as you guys. I read your guys' categories and didn't think I should copy them. Which
I
I
actually
should
put
have.
mine in there for the reason
I
if
should have
anyone
done
wanted
that.
to
I
copy.
read it and I was like, nice, and I didn't even think
Yeah.
about.
I didn't like scrolling down from. Go ahead and send it.
It's the guy from Smiling Friends.
Why did I? So these are my like normal awards. Now, the comeback player of the year technically is supposed to be someone who overcomes an injury and balls out. I could not think of anybody like that, so I picked Sam Darnold too. I think Sam Darnold deserves it though. I don't think he's gonna win the official award because after Damar Hamlin didn't win it, the NFL started putting under comeback because usually when they give the voters the ballot, they have a brief explanation of each award. They started putting under the comeback player of the year award after Damar Hamlin didn't win that it has to be someone who overcame an injury.
Oh, I got one.
Who?
Puka Nakua. He got injured in the first game of the season, came back and dropped 1,000 yards and like 20 touchdowns.
Okay, it could be Puka,
And
but
he
I,
was
Yeah.
out for like 8 weeks. He was out for like 8 weeks
that is
too.
true.
Honestly, I would still give it to Darnold.
I would still give it to
Oh,
Darnold
Sam,
too.
I believe it's him, but if we're just going off the injury rule,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I can't think of anyone besides Puka.
I like Sam Darnold. Even before, like he's just a guy, you know.
He always looked like we just picked up a guy from Walmart, gave him a jersey, and just said, "Go play." That's
Yeah,
what
he's a chill, low key kind of guy, bro.
And
his
he
face
had
on the field goes just.
yeah, and he had like a horrible, like not horrible. He went to every team he went to did not give him support. Baker, him and Baker were on the same Panthers team at one point.
And they both left, and they both balled.
Did good, yeah.
Ow.
So Darnold's my comeback player of the year. I love Sam Darnold. My coach of the year is
Wait, Bryce Young could be a comeback player of the year too.
Bryce Young. Also,
He had a phenomenal second half of the season.
I just felt like they wouldn't give it to him, or I felt like it's
Just
the same,
because he got benched, yeah.
Same thing with Jamar Chase. I didn't give it to them because of their record. My head coach of the year is my man. His nickname apparently is MCDC, Motor City Dan Campbell. I love Dan Campbell. My favorite head coach in the NFL.
Hands down, dude. Hands down.
He's extremely likable, and he actually does what people like. What
Want.
everyone wants you to do, and it works. That's the best part. It actually works.
Yeah.
He's the first head coach to play with the mindset of a fan, and it works. It's
Yeah.
so
Yeah, dude. He's playing like I would in Madden.
great. Yeah,
Exactly,
it was like
me
fourth and
too.
12.
It's like we're
Fourth,
going
fourth,
for it.
seven. Don't even hesitate, bro. Launch that thing.
Bro. I play college
I think
football
he
all the
doesn't
time.
I genuinely believe he doesn't comprehend the words fourth down.
He's like, whatever.
I genuinely believe he has like a form of dyslexia where he hears fourth down and he thinks it's first down.
He's like, we're going for it.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, oh, fourth and 8. Go route.
You already explained it.
What did you say?
before, Why? I said I'm probably wrong because I feel like he probably already explained why he does go for it on fourth down so consistently. But I want to take it back to like when he played. For example, for the Lions,
That is
since Lions
true.
were all, let's be honest, they were bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
0-16.
Yeah.
So he probably took it in perspective of it was like 4th and 3. They were like, all right, let's punt it. He was probably like, no, throw me the ball. I'm big. I can knock
I
somebody
got it.
over. We can
Yeah.
get down. And he just stuck with that in his head. He was like, you know what? No, we're going for it. There's no shot that we should not try.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And predicament.
When he started balling for the Lions as the head coach, what were they? They were like, what, 1-6 at the time?
I
It was
think
like 2022.
they were like 0
And then they
9,
went-
and then they won the 10th game or something like that.
Because I'm trying to remember, because they started off bad. They were like 0-5 or something,
Yeah.
and then they won out where they
Yeah.
ended up with like a 9-8 record. So I'd like to imagine that first game where they started to win, he's like, fuck it, we're gonna lose anyway. Just go for it on 4th down. It worked. And then he's like, hey, write that down.
They kicked
No,
the Packers
I mean
out
the
of
way
the
he was
playoffs.
talking, they were bad. The way he was talking that season when they were bad, I think he knew it was going to turn around soon.
Yeah.
Like that was all planned
When
out.
he actually, his first year was 2021, and there's like a training camp speech or like a practice speech he did where he's like, I believe in you guys, I'm doing this all for you because I believe in you. And he's such a likable dude. And I know
He's the down to earth guy. Yeah.
head coach
How
of
could
the
you?
year. I love the man. Head coach of the year is apparently supposed to be like, or a lot of people treat it as like, who did the best with the least, And I think Kevin O'Connell. I was picking between
Yeah, a lot of people are picking him.
either Kevin O'Connell or Dan Campbell. I don't care. I just picked Dan Campbell because I want to spotlight how much of a awesome head coach I think he is. I wish he were the Bills head coach.
If I may, the way I see Coach of the Year is I want to say like who did the best that didn't do the best last year. Because if we were just going who does the best every year, I feel like the last 6 years it'd be Andy Reid, Andy Reid, Andy Reid,
Yeah.
Reid. But it's because like did Dan Campbell win it last year?
No, Kevin Stefanski, the coach for the Browns, did.
Because in my mind, the way I see it is from 1 year you took a 5-12 team, whatever,
Yeah.
and you took to like 12-5 instead.
I mean, let me tell you why Dan can get it this year, bro. By telling you his record for the last 3 years: 9-8, 12-5, 15-2.
Yeah, and
I agree. He's done a phenomenal job. My only thing is he should have gotten it last year because now
I agree.
it's the
I agree.
norm.
But I think if it's time to give it first seeded, first time in their franchise history.
I
mean,
hope he
many
does
times
win. He is the favorite in the betting odds.
Yeah, I can see why. I'm gonna celebrate for him. I'm like, oh,
And plus, not only that, the Lions and the Vikings. That game is so much more historic than people are like even know.
Oh, yeah.
No,
first time in NFL history, a
14
14-2 team
Yeah.
fighting for the one team.
14-2 team, both rosters stacked with future Hall of Famers, and both coaches are the 1 and 2 favorites for Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
And it's a division game too,
And it was-
for the number 1 seed.
It was
And
guaranteed.
Dan Campbell.
It was guaranteed
Coach-
whichever team won would be the 1 seed, and whichever team lost would be the 5.
Yeah.
It's
The
crazy.
NFL's
How
gonna
do
do
people 14-3
NBA,
get the 5 seed? It's crazy.
NFL needs to take notes from the NBA in terms of seeding because there's no way a 9-8 team should, or excuse me, yeah, a 9-8 team should have the 4 seed, but then an 11-5 and
Yeah.
12-5 team have the 6 and 7 seed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back to coaching. I mean, Dan Campbell, like in that game alone, I think clear and cut out coached.
Yep.
What's his
Yeah.
name?
Kevin O'Connell.
O'Connell. Yeah.
Belt to ass, 4 consistent corners. There was no
Yeah.
corner. Where
I
the
mean,
Lions
even when the game was close, I mean, the play calling alone. I mean, yeah, Darnold and Goff both made a lot of mistakes, but I mean, I was leaning towards the Lions even when it was close, just because I had faith in Dan Campbell and Ben Johnson.
In my mind, DJ said this during the last podcast. DJ said this and it stuck with me. whoever has the lead at half will win the game because both teams tend to fall off during the second half.
Plus, the genius call to put all that pressure on Darnold.
Yeah.
All the weapons they had, and yet Darnold was
And
being attacked the whole game and it worked.
I
But
think
that's so smart to think about it because this is his first time doing this good. So let's see how he does under the pressure, under the spotlight.
yeah.
They knew exactly how to exploit him in that situation.
I genuinely believe if Hutchinson was in that game,
Oh my god, dude! It wouldn't even
it would have been a donut for the Vikings because he was doing all that with what is he, 34-year-old Smith?
Not to mention how many drops the Lions defense had. It could have been way higher scoring for the defense.
Yeah.
I mean, for the Lions.
But my rookie of the year, it's a tie between the two front runners, I guess, for quarterbacks, Jaden Daniels or Bo Nix. I picked Bo Nix because I knew no one else would pick him.
If he wins it, it's not like ooh.
Yeah, I think it'll be Jaden
I would
Daniels.
be upset because I think it should go to Daniels.
Yeah, and I they're both really good. It's
They really
really
are.
hard for me to pick which one I like more.
But I think Daniels has been better for longer. Like,
Yeah.
Bo had a
'Cause
really
Bo-
bad start.
Bo did
He
get
got
up
in the
to that
playoffs,
start.
but
I do want to also add, people are arguing that Bo Nix has more passing yards and passing touchdowns, but that was because I got heavily inflated by the last game of the season where he was behind Jaden Daniels by 2 touchdowns and by 100 yards.
And the Chiefs put up nothing.
they sat everybody. They had no intention of winning that game. Point.
Yeah, you have to. You don't want anybody to get hurt. Eunice is frozen on my end. Is he frozen on your end?
Yeah, someone has connection.
He's
Yes, we
unstuck.
can- Oh, for me,
Did I cut out for that whole thing?
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, Jaden Daniels was ahead of Bo Nix before the Chiefs game by like 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. Bo Nix versus the third strings for the Chiefs got like 400 yards and 4 touchdowns that game, which put him over the edge. Jaden Daniels did not get the verse third strings.
a game everybody knew that would be a blow of the Broncos.
Dejan said Broncos by 35 and the score was 38-0. I really wish that
Damn.
it had gotten to 30, like to the 30. I was rooting for it.
DJ's been perfecting his craft this season, bro.
My defensive player of the year is Pat Surtain, PS2. He's really good. I didn't have much to pick from, really. Couldn't pick anybody on the Bills. Almost picked Taron Johnson. But Pat Surtain is much better, objectively. Offensive player of the year has got to be Saquon. I wish that I completely understand why, and I support the decision to sit him. But I also wish they had not sat him because I really thought he deserved to break the record.
And he most definitely could have.
He would have if he and it would have been so unobtainable for everybody else.
I know, man. This was it.
If I can be honest, I don't know if he would have gotten it just because.
Did you see his last game against the Giants?
Yeah,
That's true. But I do just want to say, I feel like it would have been like they would have done everything in their power to target him specifically to ensure just the record doesn't get done. And I know that's like, well, go ahead, target him. You still can't stop him. But I still feel like, like.
I mean, that would be stupid because the Eagles still have deep threat weapons.
Yeah.
I don't think the Giants cared about winning that game.
No.
All right, but why would they care about specifically robbing Barkley? They let him go.
Yeah, but you know how like some teams are with like that. I mean, like there are some teams where the pride is at stake. Like, no offense to Riley, I'm gonna bring it up. Like, Derrick Henry was 1 yard short of like breaking some sort of record. I don't remember what it was, and they tried to give it to him, and they kept like stacking like 4 guys on the side where Derrick Henry was to ensure that he didn't get it. So after 3 tries where he got 0 yards, 0 yards, 0 yards, they just stopped trying for it and they just sent him out for the rest of the game. Like, all right, bro, we won it.
I don't think the defense did it to stop Derrick Henry like specifically. I think they did because they knew they were going to make Derrick Henry run the run.
Yeah,
I think it was just the defense stopping the offense from making yards. I don't think it was specifically against them.
You know what the game plan is here for them going into this. Like if I'm on the Giants, I know.
This is going back to me, right? And I'm sorry.
But the thing is, the Eagles don't really have to change their game plan to get Saquon 100 yards.
DJ, I'm talking about Barkley right now.
I know. But you brought up Henry.
You just brought up another example. All right, fine. Mike Evans with the Saints, I guess, is another example. Like, they should have been, like, they were clear targeting him the whole game. Especially, they had him under, like, triple coverage occasionally, too.
All right.
And that's why, like, the first half, the Saints had the lead for so long, because Evans was under triple coverage that whole game.
My last award before we get to predictions, which will be quick. It's time for me to glaze. The MVP.
I'm gonna get comfortable.
It's got to be Josh. I'm gonna keep it short. I have avoided talking about it recently because I do not. The discourse online is so annoying. But I think when it comes down to it, it really comes down to it is that in a perfect world, I think the MVP would be the best stats. Some kind of mixture of a player who has the best stats and a player with on a team with the best record. You could even maybe talk about a player who breaks records. Josh Allen's broken a couple this year as well. And really comes down to it for me is that at the beginning of the season, the Bills were it was just not making playoffs. Josh Allen sucks, overrated. He was voted the most overrated player in the NFL by players. The same players that did not select him to the All-Pro. And it's just like he's done beyond my expectations. I wrote down my predictions for how many games we were going to win. I said max 11-6. I had us losing to the Chiefs, 49ers, Lions, Ravens, not the Texans, but I was wrong about that. And so it's like, granted, he had some bad games. A lot of people have bad games. A lot of people have great games. He had some good games. The 6 touchdowns against the Rams. And obviously the passing touchdown to himself. Hilarious. And so I think he's done more with less. Not that other quarterbacks, elite quarterbacks, couldn't do that, Put Mahomes or Jackson in that situation. They might be able to do the same thing he could, but they're not in that situation currently. So that's why Josh Allen's my MVP. He's been playing pretty well for them. He's had better years, don't get me wrong. Statistically, I'm speaking. Record-wise, this is tied for the best record in franchise history. But yeah, like statistically, he's had better years. But he also has continued his streak of consecutive 40-plus yard seasons to 5, and he's broken records. I don't have him pulled up in front of me, but he's broken records. He's been doing great, so that's why he's my MVP. It could also be Saquon. Really, at the end of the day, there's a lot of guys who deserve it, but that's just my pick.
Yeah. If I can just say, and this is not about the MVP thing, by the way. My only problem with how people classify records nowadays is they add so many hurdles to them. Right. Which, to each their own. Like, Lamar has 20 of those, too, so who am I to fucking talk? But it's just like, I don't like it when teams are like, oh, most games where he threw for 240 yards had exactly 2 rushing touchdowns and also was born on September 28th.
That is one thing that I don't like. I think I brought that up in a previous episode. There's a lot of random niche.
Yeah, you can get a record for anything nowadays.
Yeah.
Where it's like catches within his first 6 seasons. I'm like, all right, so
I don't care. It's like whatever.
Like the only time a record like that counts if it's like most receptions by a rookie, like in your rookie year. Like, that's like something where I'm like, okay, I guess I can kind of see that one being a record for rookies to aim for. But when it's like, and no offense to you once again, where it's like when it's Josh Allen, where it's like most 40-yard season, most 40 touchdown seasons in under 7 seasons.
It's not under 7 seasons in a row.
Oh, in a row. My bad. Mm-hmm. Where it's like, that's going to be worth some big dollars once he breaks like what's the word I'm thinking of? Like once it's done, you know, like once it's
Yes.
fully completed.
Oh yeah.
Because like, that's just like how I'm looking at it. But like when it's like in the current of it, or when it has like little sections to it, where it's like I get so annoyed when I hear this record for Lamar. Like I hate this record so much. Where it's like most 200 passing and 75 rushing. Like what the fuck, 75? That's so specific.
It's actually it was
Like,
80.
it's not a record. That's just a cool statistic. That's not a record. Record is like when he broke Michael Vick's record. Most ever in this category. Like, oh, cool, that's a record.
Yeah, there are some that are just weirdly specific that I'm like, whatever. But then the ones where it's like the Michael Vick record or the consecutive touchdown record, I'm like, okay, that's cool. But anyone where it's like in their first blank seasons, I'm like, I don't care. Unless it's your rookie year, then I care. If it's not, I don't care.
Like,
so those
it has to be something huge, like Mahomes, or it's like most Super Bowl appearances in their first 5 seasons. Like that's something where, like,
big,
okay, I guess that's something huge, I guess. But when it's like Joe Burrow, where it's like most games with 3 passing touchdowns in their first 5 seasons, I'm like,
it's like whatever.
All right, cool, I got whatever.
But without further ado, because we're done with the awards, done with the news, we'll get to predictions. The first game is on Saturday at 4:30. Chargers at Texans. I think we discussed this before the show. I don't believe anyone here is picking Texans.
No.
I mean, if I could just give my quick 2 cents.
I'll go for it.
They have no O-line.
No, they do not.
What are they going to do? Chargers have one of the best D-lines in the league. They have one of the best defenses in general.
They'll make Stroud look like a bum, 100%.
Well, like, everyone was laughing at them with what happened to the Ravens, right? Mm-hmm. It's going to happen again.
Yeah.
You're versing the brother of the guy that did that to you. It's going to happen again.
Yeah, I agree. And feel free to jump in, anybody with their opinion. Chargers are actually a good team. The Texans, and it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, where it's like, I think division winners should be a guaranteed bid into the playoffs, but when we do when we do home team advantage, we'll do just by record.
Yeah.
Because
it does it.
The Texans are 10-7. I don't know. I don't watch the NBA. I have no idea. The Texans.
That's what I was referring to earlier with like, NFL should take a pitch out of their books because like no way in hell do the Buccaneers deserve the rights to a home game in playoffs against the 12-5 Commanders. Get out of here.
Yeah, like the Texans. I would like to look at their record.
Or excuse me, they get the home game against the Vikings. The 14-3 Vikings.
Yeah,
they get the home game.
That's crazy, yeah.
The Texans this year, I mean, like they're 10-7, so that's good, you know. But look at their last played games. So their backups beat the Texans. Will Levis sucks. Not really an indicator of. And also, the Titans are just a bad team. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, this is just a question.
Go ahead.
Because you're looking at the schedule right now, right? Mm-hmm. Besides the Bills, have the Texans beaten a team over 500?
Let's see. They beat the Colts. They beat the Bears. They beat the Jags. They beat the Pats. They beat the Bills. No.
So one team. They beat one team over 500. And honestly, I don't even hold that loss against the Bills just because they were shooken up from the week before.
We had a lot of injuries and we made coaching mistakes.
Yeah, any team that goes from undefeated that hits their first loss always plays bad the next week. It happened to the Vikings when they lost their 8-0 record and they lost the next game after. Happened to the Chiefs. They almost lost to the Panthers. Any team that goes undefeated and loses the next game, they play bad.
Yeah, so it's like if we're looking at just the last 3 games. So the backups beat Stroud did throw 1 touchdown, I will say that. But the backups beat the Titans. The Titans are one of the worst teams in the NFL. They have the number 1 overall pick. They got absolutely destroyed by the Ravens. Stroud looked like he was like a fish out of water. Could not do anything. His O-line is bad.
Yeah, but even then, he was throwing like 5 yards off.
Yeah,
even when he got the opportunity, like Nico Collins was pissed during that game because he was fighting cats and dogs to get open. Finally got open. Here's the ball. It's coming. It's like in bumfuck nowhere across the street.
Yeah. Then he lost to the Chiefs. I know Tank Dell got hurt, but he still did not play good in that game because they were constantly getting to him. They beat the Dolphins. They beat the Jags. It's the Jags. It was that one was a close one. They lost to the Titans in that one game with the safety. And then I know they beat the Bills, but even though they beat the Bills, Stroud did not look good in that game. That was week 5. He was like, as soon as Nico Collins went down, he looked just completely lost. And granted, they won.
For the record, by the way, I just want to say, because you might find it funny, I'm also am watching the highlight reel Gus has up.
I've been peeking at it.
Isn't it incredible? Look at that, man.
He just did an all-around touchdown like a few seconds ago. I'm like, damn.
Mm-hmm. He's good, man. He's good.
Dejan joined the live stream.
Yeah, what's up, bro?
Big fan.
So
yeah, I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would give it to the Texans. I've seen a couple people say, I guess they'll put up a fight, but I'm not expecting much. Next, speaking of not putting up a fight, Steelers Ravens. Nobody is saying Steelers.
Yeah.
I would like to interject real quick.
I was going to ask Dejan.
The spread.
I was going to say, do you want to give the spread or do you not want to do that anymore?
I think we have to, right?
Okay.
Doing the spread until everything's over.
All right, then we're going to do it.
Spread for the Super Bowl.
Thank you, Eunice.
I mean, it's obvious here. Chargers, like I think Eunice said it correctly. The little brother of the Ravens. Not as strong, but definitely bite you in the ass if you don't pay attention, which Stroud does not.
Yeah.
I have seen him look at someone wide open and then look away.
Yeah.
During the Ravens game that Christmas Day, was it Christmas?
Yep.
Yeah. I was like, what is he doing on the field? Did he get a concussion?
Hey Gus, are you doing the same thing I'm doing right now?
Yeah.
Dude,
all right,
575, 619.
Because I'm looking at it's like, who else is this? Then I see Gus like looking straight down like my man.
It boosts us in the algorithm.
Exactly. I think I could have been doing this at the start, but yeah.
724 likes. It tells me the total.
I'm about to hit 1,000.
I see it too. 782, 790, 800.
So Dejan, we know you're picking Chargers, but what's that spread looking like?
It's got to be. I'm gonna say 10.
Okay.
Chargers by 10.
All right.
That's fair. That's honestly fair.
So, Eunice, do you want to even?
Yes.
Okay.
So badly.
Talk about the Ravens game. Talk about the Ravens game.
All right, jokes aside, there really isn't actually much to really talk about. Zay is most likely out for this game.
I saw.
Oh, I didn't know.
Which I'm going to be honest, doesn't fucking matter because the last time we played them, I think Zay had 30 yards. Rashad Bateman and Henry were kind of taking over that day, and Andrews. I'm not really too worried about it. And I mean, just offensively, the Steelers are just a mess. Like nothing makes sense with what's going on over there, really.
Yeah.
They don't even know who the starting quarterback is right now.
I mean,
The only reason I brought up earlier about the whole Fields or rusting in our DMs was because I saw it where the OC for the Steelers was asked. He was like, "So how do you see yourself? Like, do you think like Fields has a chance to start or whatever?" And he gave like the most convoluting, nothing rant I've ever heard in my life. Where it's like, well, sometimes the shoe's got to fit how the shoe fits. Right now that shoe's in the door, so we got to inspect it, we got to look at it. It's the playoffs, man, with the shoes in there and who's wearing it, who's stepping, who's walking around, who's leading us. We just got to see what's in front of us right now. I know we got some talent right here, but we got to see how the talent fits in the shoe. Like he was on that shoe metaphor hard for 45 seconds.
I mean, 5-game losing streak, though. Their team has absolutely collapsed.
Dude,
Ironically,
ironically,
the ball on the ground when they were facing the Chiefs.
it's not even an exaggeration. He really did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what's the biggest cope that I've seen from Steelers fans this week?
What?
Unironically, I'll quote it. They're playing like shit on purpose to fuck with their opposition in the playoffs, so that way they take them as seriously, which is
doesn't make
stupid.
any sense. Everyone's
Stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Well, because it's stupid to me, because this is playoffs. No one gets taken not seriously in the playoffs,
Yeah.
especially a division rival. Like
There is no easy win in the playoffs, even in the wild card.
Like, no disrespect. I'm gonna say this right now. If the Ravens versus the Bills in the division round, they are gonna look worse than they did in that Steelers game, because how much more serious the Ravens will be taking that Steelers game. No disrespect, of course. Like, obviously, they're still gonna play hard in that Bills game. But if it's like life or death, which one are they playing harder in? It's the division rival game in the wild card slot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Ravens are just so much better than the Steelers. Like, the Steelers are just god.
Their team is called. Dude.
And I mean, that's the thing. Like it's the Mike Tomlin circle. They're everybody goes into the season thinking, "Wow, how the fuck are the Steelers going to get to a positive record this year?" They might look shaky for a couple games, but they'll end up with at least with a 9-8 record, and you'll be like, "Wow, Mike Tomlin did it again." And then
Huh?
check the chat.
Stop it.
I was gonna say like, oh, thank you, Eunice, for the for the comment. Then they just get to the end and they don't look good, and we're all thinking like they're first round exits. And
Yeah.
what
Happens
happened? What happened last year? They got blown out by the Bills. What happened this year? We don't know yet, but I have a feeling it's going to be a blowout. Now
It's literally flipped from last year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now I could see it being close for at least a quarter. Maybe
It's literally how long can the Steelers keep it competitive? That's how I see it.
I genuinely believe this. Okay, this is my honest to God score predictions right here. At the half, it's going to be damn near tie game. I'm going to say Ravens have a slight lead, say 10-7, right? Second half is going to be a fucking massacre, where out of nowhere the Ravens just fisting.
Yeah.
And I think the final score of the game is going to be 28-10.
I honestly would. I don't really do scores or spreads for my official prediction, but I would say it will be something closer to, because at some point you take Lamar out. 34-9.
Honestly,
I'll write that down.
No. Okay.
Before the only thrown 2 touchdowns in the last 4 games.
Wow. Gus,
Yeah,
what were you gonna
before the master speaks, I think I want to give my prediction in as well.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be closer than both of you guys are saying. I think it's gonna be a 24-17 game.
Okay.
And I only say that because I see the Ravens scoring in the first half, and then I see the Steelers getting garbage time points, making it 17. Maybe a late game touchdown
Yeah.
or a field goal. I genuinely believe it's gonna be garbage time points that make it look a lot closer than it is.
Dude, one of the funniest clips ever is when the Ravens versus the Buccaneers, and that exact thing happened, Gus, where the Ravens were up by 4 possessions at the start of the fourth quarter. So they sat out Lamar for that whole quarter, right? And then the Bucs started scoring, and now it was a 10-point game. And you can see like this elevation in like Lamar's face on the bench. Just,
Yeah. But put me back.
If you're over the age of 21, you should watch this game inebriated because it's the only way you're going to be able to get through it. Dijon.
oh, I saw a drinking game. I found a drinking game for this game.
Oh, really?
Someone in the Steelers official Twitter fan base posted it. Every time the Steelers go 3-0, you take a sip of beer. Every time Russell Wilson does something where the commentator starts stuttering in confusion, you take a shot.
Oh no.
Oh man.
And then what was it? There was a third one which was fucking hilarious. Oh, for every penalty that negates a touchdown for either team, you take 3 shots. And someone replied, "Brother, that last one alone is gonna put people on poisoning."
Do one of them like throughout the whole game, and it's going to be enough.
Dijon.
Yeah, you're gonna be.
Ravens by how much?
Now hear me out.
I'm listening.
I think, yes, the Steelers are bad. But like you've said, this is practically a divisional game, right? I'm thinking Steelers, for some God-known reason, are gonna just crawl their way through this, and it's gonna be a very close game. Give me Ravens by 1. Yeah.
Oh, they don't even know who's who their starting quarterback is yet, right?
They do. It's Russ.
Is it Russ?
No.
No matter what you say, no matter what happens in the game, I am correct.
All right.
I agree.
All right.
To
You know
get
what's funny as fuck to me?
22-21.
DJ gave that speech, that impeccable speech.
I was expecting a Steelers.
Exactly, because he gave that whole speech like a Dan Campbell speech, like, "Listen, man," and he's like, "Ravens."
By 1 point.
Still not
The
enough.
2-point conversion that was the biggest what if of the Ravens season, the first time we versus the Steelers.
The Sunday games start at 1 o'clock. I love the 1 o'clock time slate, by the way.
That's my favorite.
Me too.
Take it away, Chief.
Broncos Bills. I'm very scared for this game. Most Bills fans I've talked to do not care. Do not think it's a big deal. I've even seen Broncos fans who are like, we're going to get blown out. I was in a live a couple days ago of a Bills fan, and I asked, do you think this is a game to worry about? And I remember the person was like, yeah, the Broncos have a good running back. They're designed to fuck the Bills. So what I think is going to end up happening is what always happens in these Bills games. We'll start by, at the half we'll be down, and then the second half, we're going to score 20 points and go up. I think we'll probably win by the most we're going to win by is 10. I'm going to pick the Bills, though. If we lose, you will never hear from me again. I will be dead.
Hey, Gus is right next door to you, bro. Ain't no escape.
Bro, as soon as they're down in the fourth, I'm going to be flying to Riley's.
No, what's going to happen is there's going to be a field goal in the first quarter. Broncos take the lead on their opening drive field goal, and Gus is already banging at that door.
I've already been thinking about, what am I going to do when the Ravens beat us next week? So I'm thinking, man, if we don't even make it, I don't know what I would do.
You know what the real question is going into this Broncos Bills game? Honest to God,
What?
because this is an example of an unstoppable force and an immovable object. The Bills' O line has been impeccable. Like, let's be realistic, right? Ever since the Ravens game, they've been on timing. Josh Allen is the least sacked QB in the league.
Yeah.
And you guys are versing the team with the number one in sackage in the league. They get it done better than anybody. How confident? That's what's going to come down to it. Because the Broncos offense isn't amazing. It's solid. And the Bills defense, I know you like to shit on it, Riley, but it's solid. At least in the secondaries, it's solid.
Yeah.
And Bo Nix is passing a lot more than he's been running lately for the past 8 weeks. So I think it's solid versus solid. The question is, how confident are you in your O-line against the number one team and causing sackage?
So I just saw the injury report. Today is Wednesday. I just saw the injury report, and I saw that people are saying everyone who is a starter is healthy.
Okay.
They're still on the injury report, but they're over their injuries basically.
With the Broncos.
Yeah, and so it's I'm not worried about sacks because our O-line is good. It's one of the best in the league. Statistically, it's the best, but I feel like it's carried by Josh Allen.
Yeah, because he can also scramble to avoid the sack as well, which they do not take into account for just the number.
Yeah, so I am not worried about sacks. I'm worried about Riley Moss, who is going to probably be better in this game than he was against the Bengals, because he was coming off an injury. I don't remember to what. And I'm worried about Pat. Yeah, something like that. And Pat Surtain and Nick Bonito. And I am not worried about sacks. I'm more so worried about what is the Broncos defense going to do to all of our receivers. Because even though Khalil Shakir and Keon Coleman and Dalton Kincaid are good, we're not good we're bottom 3 in separation.
And Amari Cooper is questionable
He's playing.
For this game.
He's confirmed to be playing.
Done on the shelf. He's playing.
They announced it earlier today. He's healthy. So it's not even about winning. We have to win and look good. Otherwise,
yeah.
This is not me coping. This is not me, fucking around or lying. We're not beating the Ravens next week. So if we
have some hope, man. God fucking damn.
No, I have 0.
Granted,
terrible mentality.
Granted, the last time we played Lamar in the playoffs, it went great.
Yeah, well, to be fair, Lamar played like fucking garbage.
Yeah, he did play like garbage. I thought you were going to say he got injured. He got injured in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I don't care about that.
Look at the stats. He got injured in the fourth quarter.
I'm talking about the 101-yard pick six.
Yeah, that was awesome. And that was by Terry
That's
Johnson.
what I'm talking about. But that's why I have confidence this year, because he seems to have
he's
figured
locked
it
in.
out. Dude, you know he did nothing for his birthday? He sat... Actually, let me tell you. You want to know what he did for his fucking birthday yesterday?
What?
For 4 hours, he sat in a dark room with his players praying to God. They're making a cult.
That's fucked up.
I don't know anymore what the fuck that means. You ever see that Kanye video? What the fuck does that mean, Kobe Bryant?
Yeah.
That's literally how I felt when the reporter for the Ravens came out and said that shit. What the fuck does that mean?
Somebody's about to get smited during that game, bro. We're just gonna see a lightning bolt crash through somebody.
This means one of two things. They either are gonna play like garbage, or no one's dropping.
Or the other team is getting smited
this whole playoff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I it's not just do we win. We have to win and look good, because we're not going to win next week. So we have to it has to be a good game. If it's a good game, people are I don't even know if I want to watch it.
No, you have to watch it.
I have to watch it. I have to watch it, and I'm going to, but there is part of me where it's I'm too anxious to.
Gus, can you do me a favor?
Huh?
Just make sure he watches it. Just stand behind him and do like this to him the whole time. Derrick Henry breaks through the O line. Derrick Henry breaks through the D line once for like the 8th time that game. Just
See, I'm picking the Bills. Is everybody else picking the Bills?
Yeah.
Dejan, are you picking the
I think
Bills?
this will be a close game. I want to give a spread for these playoff games.
Okay.
I think, and not like I'm talking about like a full score thing, not like a difference thing.
Okay.
I think this will be a close game, and Josh Allen becomes Superman in the 4th quarter for like a game-winning touchdown. I'm feeling 28-24.
Okay. Dejan, Bills by how much?
Now hear me out.
You got a catchphrase on now.
I want you. I mean, I've been saying it for God knows how long, but envision this now, right? Broncos Bills is a close game. Close. No time. One time I left with the Bills, they use it because they're somewhat close to field goal range. Bass.
I fucking knew it. When he said field goal, I was like, fuck, wait a minute.
Stood on his neck as soon as he heard the word field goal.
Bass comes out for the win.
The redemption arc has been on.
Yards.
How much?
35 yards.
Oh, okay, something realistic. All right.
It's done.
Yeah.
It's over.
Why?
Yeah.
We're going
Shakes
to
it.
OT, baby. We're going into OT.
It's so funny because I think the Bills are actually going to win by a field goal.
You know what's
We're
crazy?
going. Don't worry about it. Bills win.
Hey,
So.
don't bring up OT to a Bills fan ever, bro.
Shut the fuck up.
This is
They had to change the rules.
It was not because of them.
It was. And you know it.
It was not. It was actually the Eagles.
Oh.
They petitioned the rule. That's not it. Look it up.
Bills by 6 though.
Okay. So an overtime winner. Next up, we have Packers Eagles.
I'm excited about this.
This is going to be a massacre. I don't
Yeah.
I think I'm most excited about this one.
Gus.
In my honest opinion,
Yeah.
actually, you know what, Gus? You said you're the most excited. You want to go first?
Because I'm
Oh.
picking Eagles.
Because you're shaking.
Oh no, I'm just bouncing my legs around. Dude, I might be the only one saying this, but I'm picking the Green Bay Packers, dude.
Someone on
You're
TikTok
not.
said that.
You're not. I'm saying.
Yeah.
NFC North.
I mean, a lot of people, the Eagles are a powerhouse. Don't get me wrong.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, first game, I'm thinking back in the first game when they played, I think it was in Brazil,
Yes.
and Love got hurt, the Eagles barely won. I mean, I see Green Bay out for vengeance. I still think they're a more than capable team. Like, I don't think it'll be a surprise or an upset if they beat the Eagles. Straight up.
It'll be an upset. I think it will be an upset just because like of all the hype.
I think it'll be an upset because people like are just underestimating Green Bay.
You know what? I think that's fair. I think the reason people are underestimating Green Bay is because I think and correct me on this if someone could pull up their schedule. I think they're like, they've done shit this year against teams with winning records.
Their only losses are the Eagles, and then with every team within their division except one win against the Bears.
Yeah.
And they're 1-5. Or excuse me. Wait. Yeah, they're.
But I mean, the
Yeah.
Vikings and the Lions are like very legitimate teams to lose to.
Yeah.
Yeah. They beat the Colts, Titans, Rams, Cardinals, Texans, Jags, Bears the first time, 49ers, Dolphins.
They beat playoff teams and playoff contending
Yeah.
teams.
And they even when they lose, it's close.
It is close, yeah. So honestly, I take the Green. I mean, Josh Jacobs has been an absolute power horse, and I'm not saying Barkley has been by any means, but I think they could definitely squeeze out this win.
You know what? I think you bring up great points, and it's enough of great points for me to correct myself. I was definitely being a drama queen by saying it's a massacre and all that shit.
I think
This will be a close game. The way I perfectly envision this game is Green Bay, because Green Bay has the same problem as the Vikings and Lions do. Green Bay is going to be up, in the first half,
Yeah.
let's say
They're a terrible playoff team, dude.
let's say like 21 to like 14. They'll be up by a decent bit, nothing crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can see like one touchdown in the third quarter and then one touchdown in the fourth quarter. But that's when Barkley's like, he puts the chef hat on and starts
Yeah.
cooking.
Yeah.
That exact Barkley fourth quarter is going to make this a really close game.
Barkley fourth quarter is unstoppable, 2 touchdown minimum machine. Where it's just like, how do you stop him?
Eunice.
I think this will be a high score game that the Eagles can squeeze out. I think this will be like a 41 to like 38 type thing.
Okay. I could see that going. I could see that happening. I'm picking the Eagles. Just because I feel like the Packers they've won, but they've been shaky the last few weeks. Except that Saints game, they blew the Saints out.
The Saints.
And yeah, I know, and what we were talking about earlier. I'm picking the Eagles, but I think it'll be. Originally, I was also thinking massacre, but I think it'll be close.
Yeah.
If
Because
it's
at the end of the day,
even 10 points could be close. I don't see it being more than that.
Yeah.
let's be honest, at the end of the day, that is a playoff team. They didn't get there because they won a contest or
They
something.
were third in the division. You know what I mean?
They were third in the arguably best division
Yeah.
in the league. And had they been in any other division, they really could have been contenders to win.
Yeah,
that.
like to make playoffs being third in your division is a feat, dude.
Seriously, because you have imagine genuinely if the Dolphins and Green Bay swap places, right?
Oh,
Think about how much of a hellscape the Bills would the Bills would have such harder games. The Green Bay could win that division even with the Bills in there, and that's not insane to say. That's not batshit crazy. Same with the AFC North. They could win that division too, theoretically. And it's not like, what? No, that's a good team still.
Yeah.
Dijon, you said Packers. What are you thinking? What's your spread?
What I'm thinking?
NFC North supremacy.
NFC North supremacy. We have three kings and
Bears.
what do you call
Bears.
it?
The
Yeah,
Bears.
Yeah, just the Bears. We have
And
three
then,
kings
and then Jester.
and then the Bears.
And then the Bears.
Yeah.
The Bears.
Just a guy. He's around. No,
We Bear Bears.
Caleb, honestly, We Bear Bears is an amazing show.
Great show.
Nothing wrong with Caleb. It's his rookie year,
Yeah.
so he is obviously made rookie mistakes. We can't say he was.
It's just
But he still had a pretty good season, bro.
He, in terms of stats, he did above average. It's his coach that sucks stats and O-line.
Yeah.
He definitely did great as a rookie. I'm saying he still made rookie mistakes, but if he had a what average to above average team,
Yeah, coach.
hey,
Yeah.
we would have been like one of the best rookie QBs out, But he doesn't. He has the Bears, who
Yeah.
I can probably confidently say some of the games, I feel like the O-line wanted him to get a concussion.
That too.
Yeah, they really sold him in a few of those games, dude.
Yeah. Okay, back to the playoffs.
Yeah.
NFC North supremacy, obviously. Podcast wise, I don't think until week, I think 9 or something, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna stick to the NFC North supremacy thing and just kept going with it. And that definitely lost me some prediction things because I kept saying Bears for God knows. After the Commanders thing, I should have realized, hey, this ain't it.
I mean, they lost the Patriots, man.
That's true.
But it is going to be a close game. It's the Eagles.
Yeah.
No.
I believe since they have played Barkley before, he's going to have a rough time in the first half.
Right.
I could see that.
I think he's going to be able to read the defense, be like, all right, I know how you guys work.
You can only hold them off for so long, but not forever.
Exactly.
Going to have a big play.
It's Barkley. Come on.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna find something. It's
Like
like
you're gonna make a small mistake and he's gonna exploit it as soon as you do it.
exactly. But saying all that, 7.
All right.
Okay. Last minute touchdown.
Yeah.
I'm picking the Eagles. I I just believe in them a little bit more, like I was saying, and by a little bit. I think it'll be high scoring. Because if Jordan Love plays and can play well, because he's had.
Oh wait, yeah. Is Hurts still on concussion protocol or is
He's
he
out.
off?
He's out?
He had his first limited practice today.
I was about to say, I think he'll make an appearance for this game.
Oh, he will.
There's no way he does it.
Saquon can carry them, but it depends on what that Packers defense is good, so it depends on what happens.
Yeah, in all things, I really do not want him to get hit hard because he might,
Yeah.
The problem is Eagles' O-line has kind of been struggling lately.
Then the 8 p.m. game on Sunday is Commanders Bucks.
I think it's going to be a great game.
I think it'll be a good game too. Eunice, who are you taking? Because I feel like this is one where it's 50-50, but I have one that I put over the rest.
I'm going Bucks simply because the Commanders' secondaries have been buns for like 10 weeks in a row now. Like the first 6 weeks they were good, not great but good. They were getting good numbers, and then just they've been allowing 300 yards a game since then. And I'm sorry, but against Mike Evans, what the fuck are we doing here? Because Commanders don't have a pass rusher that does anything worthwhile. So I know that's not going to be too much of a problem, pressure QBs and stuff like that. And the other way, at the very least, the Bucks have a solid defense. And that's really all it for me. I think you just in every category, the Bucks just slightly outrank them in everything. QB, they got it. Running back, I mean, you can argue Brian Robinson Jr. and Bucky Irving. There's no wrong answer in my opinion. But that's the only thing where it's a tie.
Right.
And so I'm Bucks.
Gus, what do you think?
I mean, as powerful as the Bucks offense is, I mean, looking at Mayfield, he has been playing like an absolute dog. Don't get me wrong, but if I were a betting man, I would bet that he would throw 2 interceptions at least during that game. I don't think I've seen a game where he hasn't thrown 2 interceptions.
He's a gunslinger.
He's a gunslinger. Don't get me wrong. A lot of big plays, but a lot of turnovers as well.
Yeah.
And he's just going to make too many mistakes. The Commanders are a high-powered offense as well. Jaden Daniels, contender for Rookie of the Year, most likely going to get it. They're surrounded by talent. I feel like they've proven time and time again they can be consistently better compared to the Bucks. I feel like the Bucks are a lot less consistent. I think they do have a higher ceiling. I'll give you that, Eunice. But I think the Commanders have they have a much higher floor, and I'm going to have to take him. I want to see Jaden Daniels take this another step further, and I think he's more than capable of doing it. I think they can put BTA on this Buccaneers defense, and I think it's definitely going to be an offensive game. But I would trust the Commies to take it.
Okay.
Sorry, I got important news for all my sports lovers out there. Fortnite skins back with the football. I'm about to be in Loot Lake running Lamar Jackson,
dude,
bro.
I can be OJ. Fine.
Why do you get excited for
I'm
OJ?
Gibbs. I'm 100% rocking Gibbs.
When?
Oh, we gotta play tomorrow. Or tomorrow.
I was gonna say, when does that come back?
She said they're in there right now.
No way. I was on Fortnite earlier.
My girlfriend just texted me. She's
just
Fortnite
there.
skins are in. Oh my god.
Hey, I'm hopping on Fortnite right after this, bro. I'm not even joking.
Bro.
They are.
Holy
where you get to customize them and build. Hey, Lamar Jackson's hitting Loot Lake tonight.
I just got my MSU refund, Gus.
Let's go. I just got mine today too.
I just got my Christmas bonus. I got my Christmas bonus, bitches. We in the bitch.
Dejan, what do you think about this game? It's Commanders Bucks.
I think my thought process is different from others. where most people see history and statistics, I think, what would be cool to watch? If you go over the podcast and I say, hear me out, I'm probably saying some random BS. So hear me out.
It's a tie.
Read his mind.
And they both move on.
For the first time in NFL history, we have a 3-way matchup in the divisional round. 3 teams, 1 field, winner takes all.
I think how they practically ended, not practically, they did. I don't count the Bears being the Packers as one. Eunice, kill yourself.
What'd I do? I didn't do nothing.
I'm sorry. I only was looking at Discord and it was only showing you. So if Riley was doing it too,
I wasn't.
That's
It was literally all 3 of us were doing it.
No, I
And you
wasn't.
just come-
What?
Discord.
Yeah, all 3.
Okay, whatever. Let's move on, please. Or continue, Deshaun.
Okay. Since the Commanders ended the Bears season with a Hail Mary, I think they're going to end their own postseason with a Hail Mary. Hail Mary, pick 6.
That would be awesome. I'm writing that down.
Oh my God! Tie game, Hail Mary, pick 6, 100-yard touchdown return.
If you get this right, I feel like somebody needs to give you $1 million.
I feel like if you bet a penny on that,
You would get $1 million.
$1 million.
Deshaun, I will give you head. if you get that right.
You have 2 choices: $1 million, head.
So buy.
You gotta get the head.
So buy 7 or buy 6 or 7. Like what would you put that as then?
Do you still get the field goal attempt after?
No, if the time is 0, you won't make the attempt. No.
Okay, then 6.
You can, but I don't think you have to if you're already up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, by
Then I'm
6.
gonna just 6. Yeah.
Hey, bro, we got a box. I think that's what would happen in the NFL. Overtime, you get the touchdown, and like the coaches come onto the field like, no, we still got the extra point. Get back over there.
I'm also taking the Bucks. I think their defense is better. And Jaden Daniels is a rookie. I'm kind of counting on him making a mistake, but this is a 50-50 game for me, to be honest with you. The next game is not 50-50. I think it's very lopsided. It's Vikings-Rams. I'm picking the Vikings. The Rams are just bad.
I think people are hyping up this game way too much. Oh my God, the Vikings just lost to the Lions. Tragic loss. Whoever versus the Rams is losing first. I saw a video that legitimately said whoever's losing in the Lions-Vikings matchup are going to be first-round exits.
I also
The
saw
Rams
that.
are not that team, bro.
They're not. Especially the last few weeks.
In my mind, the only thing that's holding the Vikings back is this will be Sam Darnold's first ever time in playoffs. That's the
I mean,
one
honestly,
thing.
this is the best matchup you could ask for, in my opinion.
Yeah, start small. Start small.
Exactly.
You know, you're training against
The Rams are
Lions.
lucky to be there in the first place, dude.
Yeah.
Their division's so garbage.
Oh, yeah. Dijon, are you picking the Vikings and by how much?
Couple things I want to say.
North supremacy.
Okay. Oh, yeah, of course I forgot.
Yes, NFC North supremacy. But besides that, two things. If the Rams win it, I'm calling BS because they just want Stafford back in Detroit. The Lions can beat Stafford.
Yeah.
Running back. But Vikings, just because, you know what's funnier than beating someone twice in a row? Doing it 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
Wait. Hey, Riley, I got a thumbnail for you. Ready?
Yeah. No, the thumbnail's the certified golf moment I sent in the group chat.
Love that.
So Dijon, by how much then?
14.
All right.
That's it. All right.
All right.
I got the wheel.
Oh yeah, the wheel.
Did you take off
right.
only the, or did you put only the playoff team?
Yeah, only the playoff teams are in here. So I'm
Okay.
gonna tell you guys right now, I left the Kansas City Chiefs and the Detroit Lions on here because injuries can still happen during practice.
Or next week. This might carry on.
Not carry, and you know that.
We don't know.
Don't try adding new rules.
Please, Lord, don't be the Bills. Please, Lord.
Bro, don't try adding new rules. This thing existed for like a month, bro.
Yeah, what the fuck? All right. Here we go. Spin
Let's
that
see
wheel.
it.
Come on.
I'm gonna kill myself.
Oh my goodness.
Russ,
I guess
500-yard
I-
game coming.
Pop your
I
predictions,
know what it
boys.
is.
Ow.
I already know what it is. Zay's not gonna make the game. Remember, we already agreed. These are minor injuries and minor issues.
We didn't say we did
Ooh,
not
I
say
didn't-
injuries.
I didn't agree.
We did not
I was-
agree to that.
You don't control what the wheel says. Oh my god, dude. I'm sorry. It's over. 2 in a row. It's over.
Russ,
What I said was correct.
I'm okay with both these.
Once again, this wheel is only proving my point. I have only said
Wait.
factual statements.
I already knew Zay wasn't gonna make it.
You don't.
I'm chilling.
Eunice is like the
No,
biggest.
it landed on the
most
Ravens twice.
copium.
'Cause that's 2 things. That's
Yeah,
2 things.
yeah.
Oh, you played with
fine.
fate. That's 2 things.
Fine.
Lamar.
Zay Flowers is out, and Derrick Henry
Derrick
only
Henry.
has 130 yards. Fine.
No, Derrick Henry.
You
Alright.
twisted my arm.
Question protocol after the
Whatever. All right.
Hey, as long as I got this headband, I am worried.
Let's end it. Let's end it here. We'll be back
Okay.
next week for the. We'll be back next week for the divisional round, aka when I want to kill myself.
Dude, we're gonna. I can guarantee we're gonna see some long faces.
Oh yeah.
How funny would it be if the Bills and Ravens just don't through the division?
None of them. Oh my god.
I'm not even
Just
joking.
like the Chiefs, the AFC, and the Chiefs versus the fucking Texans.
Dude, if both of them move the wild card, it's the easiest Chiefs Super Bowl appearance
I'm
ever.
not
The
joking.
only team that could save us,
Chargers.
are the Chargers.
I'm not joking.
Yeah.
If the Bills and Ravens get eliminated in the same round, I'm fine with it.
I'm sure you.
Like if the Ravens because the Ravens play first, so if the Ravens lose, I am not gonna say anything. They're not gonna lose, but I'm saying hypothetically if I'm not gonna say anything because I don't want any bad karma. And then if we lose, I'd be like, well, the Ravens didn't win
You
either,
already said it.
so it's
You
whatever.
already said
Yeah, like it doesn't matter. You know, like I'd be like I would just be at peace. I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be sad.
When you start missing the playoffs because of the Patriots, that's when you're getting upset.
Yeah.
it. Loser
Because the
mentality, bro.
last time we
Give a
played
fuck
the
who else
Chiefs,
loses.
the last time we played the Patriots in the playoffs, it was really close with the Patriots.
That was Mac Jones. You
Yeah,
want
I
to
know.
talk? You're literally cherry picking.
And 6-time
How
Super
about
Bowl
you
winner
talk
Bill
about the
Belichick.
other 99 times Bills have played the Patriots?
In recent memory, we've been doing pretty good.
That is Mac Jones. You haven't versed Drake May in the playoffs.
He hasn't
That'd be
made the
so
Just wait till
playoffs.
you do, bro. Just wait till you do.
All right,
You want?
we're getting out of here.
Mhm.
All right.
I'm ending the live and then
Ravens
we'll
squad.
continue the recording for a second. Live has ended.
Let's go.
24 total viewers. But that's
Hey,
like
how many
that's
like-
like overtime.
How many likes?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting any retention, but it's not bad.
4.6K.
Does
I-
it tell you who your most
No.
who gave most?
No, it does not.
I
But
was at least half. I want to point that out.
yeah, you guys
You
did a
say,
lot.
I've been spamming.
All right. Well, we'll catch you guys next week. Go Bills.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.